Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy Podcast. 2 weeks in a row, one day early. Here we are, and we've got a lot to talk about this week. A couple of pretty short topics to kind of open up the episode. We're going to talk about the reveal of this year's Worlds decks that are being printed. We're going to talk about all the new cards coming out from Nihil Zero. The full set has been revealed over in Japan. We'll talk about an update to the Ace Trainer program, something we've talked about the last couple of weeks. Don't worry, we will, of course, still have Guess That Flavor Text. No matter how many topics we have, you can rest assured Guess That Flavor Text will be one of the things we make time for. Everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. And then we're going to wrap up this week by recapping Toronto Regionals. Azul and I were both there, Azul playing, myself casting. And then we'll talk about the three major tournaments. That's right, three tournaments in one weekend happening this coming weekend. And give our thoughts on what things may look like, and of course, make some predictions. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up over on our weekly bonus episode exclusive to our YouTube channel members and Spotify subscribers. If you want to get a little extra content and support us, check out those bonus episode offerings. Subscribing does get you access to all previous bonus episodes as well. So lots of backlogged content for you. My name is Tripper G. I'm joined here, as always, by my friend and co-host, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing, buddy? How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Played in my first, I was gonna say first major, but actually first Pokemon tournament. Well, actually, have we done any Uncommon Energy videos this season?
Nope.
Okay, so
The
first
last
tournament this season.
the last video we did that was like we went to a tournament and played was after NAIC last year. It was before Worlds.
Okay, yeah. So first tournament of the season. Played at the Toronto Regional Championships. Played some
Wait,
Charizard.
actually, I do think that tournament technically takes place in this season, but it was before Worlds, so you probably do already have some points from that tournament.
Oh, okay. So I'm further along than than I thought. I don't know if
Top
that's gonna.
125 is within reach, Azul.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess they did extend it by 25 places this season as well, right?
Yeah,
I would like
top 130?
Yeah, so I would've, like, pretty comfortably got my Worlds invite if I didn't even win. Assuming I still got, like, a decent finish at Merida, but didn't win, like, a top 8 or something. I would think I was, like, would've been just outside it with, like, a top 8, out of top 100, but I think comfortably top 125 probably this time around. Yeah, first tournament of the season, not just first major, and, yeah, it was fun to play. Just played Charizard. The closer I got to the tournament, like, streaming leading up to it and stuff, I was just, like, super uninvested in, like, the more competitive side of the format. Because I, like, really enjoy playing the format right now, and I think I mentioned this on last week's episode as well. It's like, I understand some of the tweets from people being like, "This format is actually just, like, not that good," or it's just, like, it's so long, and there's such a lack of innovation to be applied to the format because the good decks have been so good for so long. Every new set release doesn't really do anything. It just makes like the good decks a little better, but like not even anything like super major to like change up or switch up. I guess Dawn with Charizard is kind of like the newest thing, but it's still a Charizard deck. It's still Charizard Dusknoir, so it's like pretty pretty boring overall. So yeah, leading up to the tournament, wasn't really invested in any deck. Chose Charizard pretty last minute. It was like pretty much between that and Golden Go because you can't go wrong with Golden Go, obviously. But Charizard sounded like way more fun to play. So I ended up on Charizard and ended up getting top 128. A lot of ties. Some of them were like kind of out of. Definitely could have played faster in some, but some of them were also just kind of out of reach as well, a little bit. In terms of could have played better overall for sure. Could have played faster. Could have scooped faster in some of them. Like specifically like the Holtzards that I played against, like those are just long, grindy games. So like those ones were never game three was never concluding in those, but definitely could have done more, obviously, in terms of preparation and then like play on the day of the tournament as well.
Yeah, I
What
hear
about go
playing
ahead.
faster and scooping faster. That's good advice. I saw
Yeah.
that a little bit on the timeline this weekend, so
Yeah, I was
might be
preaching
something to think
the
about.
way to win in the current day and age of the Pokemon TCG. Scoop play faster, scoop faster, repeat. But what about you, Chip? How did you like Toronto?
Yeah, it was good. Besides the terrible weather on the way in, I got minorly delayed, but so many people got like massively delayed, slash, like their literal trips just canceled because of all the bad weather that was happening in Toronto. So yeah, turns out going to Toronto in January is a little risky when it comes to trips and people getting there, but I was just slightly delayed an hour and a half, so not that bad. But like once I landed in Toronto, it took me forever to get connected to an Uber. Once I finally got an Uber, it took an hour to get from the airport to the hotel, even though it's normally like a 20-minute or less drive. So, not definitely not fun, very slow. And once I got inside the hotel, because we stayed at the hotel that's connected to the convention center. Once I got inside the hotel Friday night, I did not go back outside until I got back on into an Uber to go back home Monday morning. So like I was just inside the literal entire time. But it was a good event. um, got to see a lot of uh cool storylines kind of develop. Through like great players that we're familiar with, but also like players we're maybe a little bit less familiar with. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to cast with Kyle Sablehouse, which was a blast, of course, as always. Kyle and I think, just mesh super, super well together. And then yeah, it was cool to see Piper get her first time casting as well. I didn't admittedly listen to that much of her casting because um backstage, we're not like the area that where the talent can sit, the casters can sit. The like audio isn't playing because all three of the streams are going. So I wasn't actively always listening to her casting, but what I did hear was great, and I'm excited to go back and kind of hear how that went. But yeah, it was definitely that's something we didn't get to talk about last week because the announcement hadn't come out yet. But yeah, Piper casting an official tournament was super cool to see. Just a kind of a similar path to you, right? A great experienced player getting in the booth, who's been in those situations, can add more context for the viewer. I think is a really valuable thing to have. So that was fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see Piper get the opportunity. Great pickup there for the talent side of things. And yeah, like you said, very experienced player, top level player. So it's nice to see more players making their way, or like that have that
That path being
well,
there.
yeah, that path being there for sure. And getting that the top level analysis of the games and breakdowns and stuff. Um, more on the cast. Definitely very very
Yeah.
cool.
One thing I did want to talk about before we kind of get into the bulk of the actual episodes, kind of an interesting story out of Japan this week. They actually banned a card in the expanded format, which is, I think, something that has not happened in like 3 years, I want to say, maybe even longer. But for those who don't know, Japan, or well, Pokemon in general, has a secondary format, an expanded format. It's not been played or supported in the western part of the world since before the pandemic, since the
Yeah,
pandemic. Actually, the one of the I think like it was the Toronto regionals that got canceled, right? The
yes.
weekend like that the world shut down or whatever. But the next tournament that was supposed to happen in March that year was Charlotte Regionals, which was going to be expanded. So like expanded tournaments were a part of like every other event was an expanded tournament for the most part. But it's been a long time. Expanded's not really been supported. Actually, Mahone, I don't know if you saw this or not, did a pretty interesting video this past week over on his YouTube channel, Tricky Jim, talking about just the expanded format, the history of it, and
Yeah.
kind of the fact that it's gone. So that's an interesting watch for anyone out there who's curious about expanded. But yeah, a new card banned from the format, Azul. Metacham V, no longer legal.
Which I don't think changes anything because I'm pretty sure Regidrago is just like by far the best deck. So
Yep.
this seems like a preemptive ban for like cards coming out in the next couple sets. Is what it seems like to me because I don't even remember seeing Metacham in any deck recently
I don't think so.
in results from the only tournament, the only expanded major that happened, which is at Champions League Aichi, right?
Yeah,
And it
every
actually hasn't
single
even
year
happened
there's
this
a like
season.
secondary Champions League. There's like the standard Champions League, but then it's not even a side event. It's like a full on tournament, a
Yeah,
Champions League
and you
level
can pick.
tournament.
You have to pick one of the two to play in as a player.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, it has been, let's see, 2 years ago in 2024. There's a little bit of the Reggie Drago popping up, right? Some Lugia stuff. Lots of things you can do in this format, man. The card pool is just so big now.
Yeah.
But then last season, this is a funny one to look at. Last season's
Yeah, it's
Champions League
just
is just all Reggie Drago. I don't
Yeah.
think a single one of these decks, maybe one of these in here plays Metacham V. I don't
I
know.
don't even know if it does, to be honest. I couldn't name a deck there that would play maybe the Raichu deck because it's like a paralysis deck, right? Maybe there's a Metacham in there to loop some things. I don't know
Um,
if any of these decks play Metacham. So the Metacham ban to me, I mean, it's good that they are not completely like abandoned the format if like obviously they're gonna play it competitively and to some extent over there in Japan. And maybe like they still have well, no, I don't think even any of the city leagues or battle gym battles are expanded. They're all standard, I'm pretty sure as well. Unless the ones that are expanded just don't get any attention at all. It might literally just be like this one tournament
I
that is
think it
expanded.
is.
And yeah, the last two Champions Leagues, there's been zero Metachams in cut. So it feels like this has to be a preemptive ban, which means they kind of still just don't care about the format at all. Like, just something they don't like the idea of existing. They're like, okay, let's remove that. But let's let Reggie Drago continue to be like 80% of the relevant results, and I don't even know how is it like a 50% metagame deck? I don't even know what the numbers look like, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems a little silly. Seems like it's still probably a pretty terrible format, if they're banning Metacham with the results we've seen recently.
Would you be more interested in competing if there was like not expanded specifically, but just some other secondary format to explore?
Yeah, for sure, especially if it was, like, available on PTCG Live, I think that'd be a big deal about a big deal of it as well. Um But yeah, but I would be interested in expanded as well if there was like aggressive bans, and I think in expanded as well, you can just kind of ban stuff to ban stuff. It doesn't. You don't have to be super like protective and cautious. You can just be like, this thing just kind of seems too good. Who cares? Ban it, right? Like unless it's like an answer card, like maybe like you wouldn't want to ban Wobbuffet, the one when it's in the active, it shuts off all the abilities. That seems like a
Mhm.
good, like a healthy card as a counter card. But, like, if you're just like, is anyone really gonna care if we just ban Reggie Drago and maybe Archeops from the Lugia V-Star decks? Probably not. Alright, let's just get rid of them. Like, I only like, they can be, like, super aggressive with bans as well and expanded. There's already, like, a baseline of, like, uh, keeping things not seemingly so broken that they're already missing, but they could go up past that and just be really aggressive with bans as well. But they don't even do, like, a baseline thing where it's like, "Okay, Reggie Drago should probably be banned. Archeops or Lugia V-Star should probably be banned. One of those should also probably be banned. But they don't even do those. They're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll ban Metacham V because there's some combo coming up that we don't like. And then, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and the Metacham V will probably also be banned in our expanded with our next set release. They just did like the rotation announcement where they said expanded would be unchanged, right? So, but with every single set release, they at least for a long time did. Actually, I haven't looked at it on the website. I don't know if they still
Yeah.
have the little blurb where they say no changes to the expanded format at this time. But they do usually, I mean, our ban list is aligned with what Japan's expanded ban list is. So I expect it'll be a banned in our expanded format as well.
Yeah. It'll probably be yeah, I forgot that they actually do that until you mentioned it. But yeah, like every time they're like, no changes to the expanded format. Or they'll say like no changes to the standard format as well. But it's like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, they do always make note of that for sure.
Let me see if I can find like the release information post on the Pokemon website. No, I don't think so. Ban list update. I don't remember. Yeah, I feel like there was at least a while where they were always putting it out there. Even if there was nothing changed, they just like still made a post. Oh yeah, here you go for Mega Evolution. Yeah, there was one for Mega Evolution. They posted this standard format. No changes have been made to the banned card list.
Oh,
Expanded format. There was an update. I forgot about this. Flapple was banned as
hmm.
well.
What Flapple was it?
It's the one with Apple Drop. So Forest of Giant Plants is banned and expanded. I'm pretty
Oh, well, we're about
sure.
to get Vitality.
But Vitality came out, yeah, so they banned this card because it,
What
like,
could you
could create
even how much damage could you theoretically do?
you draw through your deck with Skyfield and Unknowns and Dedenne and Crobat and Carmine with
Oh, because you
Lele,
can't
like
even Skyfield because you need Vitality Forest.
oh, true.
I'm trying to like think of how much damage can Apple Drop even like KO with Regidrago V? Could we even get there? I don't even know if we can get there.
220.
And you can't even do it on the first turn of the game either. So like your opponent has a turn
Right.
or two turns to no, they have a turn of a supporter or 2 turns to deal with it. Um, yeah, it seems like a weird card to ban.
I forgot they
I don't
did this
know.
too. They
Yeah.
errataed Prism Energy because the old one is technically different, where it says it provides energy just in general, but the current ones say when it's attached to a Pokemon.
Oh, okay. So,
So rather
I mean,
than
nothing.
saying
Yeah.
that the old black and white ones aren't legal, they had to release this errata. So you can play the old black and white ones in standard as well.
Was that actually like something that could ever change
Well,
the
like if there
outcome?
was a card that said like it just says this card provides colorless energy. Like if I don't know, there was some ability that said, you know, attach an energy card from
Oh,
your
sure,
or like
sure.
a I don't know. I guess if it said attach an energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, you wouldn't be able to attach like some of the special energies, right? Because they only say that they're special energy, their energies when they're attached. I don't know. There's probably some weird thing with that that's involved here. I have to imagine.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, oh, they actually even cite force to vitality here as a reason.
Mm. So Flapple, what? So they thought Flapple was problematic.
Yeah. There are several ways to use Flapple's Apple Drop ability repeatedly until all of the opponent's Pokemon are knocked out. This strategy can be executed consistently on the second turn of the game, which creates an undesirable environment for the expanded format.
Well,
Some
I
would
want to
argue
know
that
what
the
this
expanded
is.
format is already an undesirable
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, but like Reggie Drago being, 50% of the metagame, that's fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
But no, hey, they say on the second turn of the game, but that's not true, right?
Yeah, because Force to Vitality, you can't use it on your first turn of the game, right?
Yeah, they say on the second turn of the game, but they mean it probably should
A
be, I assume they
player's second
mean on a
turn.
player's second turn of the game. I guess you like Gengar Mimikyu but Gengar Mimikyu is still like a legal card, and they're talking about like balancing expanded. Like it's like absurd. Like the power level in expanded is absurd to then allow you to have like something like Gengar Mimikyu, right? Like Gengar Mimikyu is still legal, right? They didn't ban it, I don't
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, like come on, what are we doing? Like cards like Gengar Mimikyu should just be banned in expanded format just based on the possibility of the amount of power being able to be like presented over 2 turns when you take away your opponent's next turn. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like I don't know, it just kind of seems like a joke overall to me that we still care. They still care enough to like ban Metacham and Flapple, but then it's just like, yeah, everything else is fine. Come on, that's
I'll be interested to
ridiculous.
see at Aichi this year how many Regidrago are
Yeah.
in cut. When a metagame is that centralized, usually someone can find something to like counter that, right? So
But there's so many different attackers. Like I don't think they're like you have answers
is
for everything.
Regidrago truly uncounterable?
It might be.
Latias EX can't be damaged
Um,
by oh, I'm sure there's a shred attack in the Regidrago deck, right? Like
oh yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. It's almost like it's like Broken Lugia or Gardevoir currently. It's like some builds of the deck, every build of the deck can be countered by something, but the deck can be built to counter anything.
yeah.
So sometimes you can catch it off guard probably, but you're not gonna like. But as soon as they know what you're trying to do exists, or they preemptively predict what you're trying to do, they always win anyways.
All right, well, let's get into our first full topic of the week, and that is going to be talking about the 2025 Pokemon World Championship decks. This is something that Pokemon has done every year since 2004, where they take 4 players' decks from the previous year's World Championships and pack them into a World Championship deck, a deck that is um, a way to commemorate the finish of that player at the tournament and sell it in stores. The cards have a unique card back, and they also have the player's famous style signature on it. So it's not legal for tournament play, but it is a fun way to hold on to decks to revisit formats to play again.
Yeah, and I mean nothing crazy for the. I saw a lot of people making a big deal that oh, the player's name is eluding me now for the
Jose.
yeah, Jose, who got what,
He got second in juniors.
second in juniors. Making a big deal that Jose's Dragapult Dust Lord deck got printed, and Dude, why can't I just remember names at all right now? Hold up, hold
Justin.
up. Oh, dude, I was like, give me a second though. Let me. Yeah, Justin Newdorf's list didn't get printed, which, I mean, there's like some validity to that, I guess. Like, obviously, getting second in Masters is more prestigious than getting second in juniors. I don't think it's like a huge deal though overall. Yeah, people were saying that like, I don't know. I guess it was like a little disrespectful the way I saw people approaching the topic of like people were saying like Justin got robbed,
Mhm.
which is, like, I feel like a little disrespectful to Jose's placement and accomplishment. Like, I just said, like, yeah, obviously getting second to Masters is, like, more prestigious than getting second in juniors, but still, it's, like, unnecessarily disrespectful and kind of rude. I think
Yeah.
tackling it from the point, like, being a little bit more strategic with how you tackle that and being like, I don't think it makes a ton of like, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to say, like, I feel like it doesn't make a ton of sense to if the deck is the same as the Masters second place deck, if they're gonna print a Dragapult deck, it feels like it's maybe just correct to print the Masters Dragapult deck that got second place. And I don't think that that's a bad take, but I feel like the way that people were going about expressing that opinion was like a little disrespectful and a little bit rude to Jose for sure. I
Yeah.
think Jose clapped back a little bit on Twitter if I saw. So shout out to Jose for sure. But yeah, I don't think it's like a huge deal. If you really want your deck printed, win the tournament. I don't think Justin actually. I don't think Justin said anything that was like too crazy though. So I'm not trying to like call out Justin specifically here.
No.
But yeah, like if you really want your deck printed, whatever, go win the tournament instead. Not calling out Justin, like I said, but yeah, I don't think there's anything like terribly wrong with printing Jose's deck over Justin's here.
Yeah, so for those who don't know kind of like what the typical process has been, every single year they print 4 decks, and there's obviously 3 age divisions. They always print a deck from each of the age divisions. So each age division will be represented in some way. And then there's like a 4th wild card deck that can be from anywhere, whatever they feel like is the best. And usually what it feels like they try to do, I don't like know this for certain, but it feels like they try to find ways to um commemorate like accomplishments, right? But also like encompass the format for what that tournament was,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes like in the past, um, I can't even remember the last time this happened, but it's surely happened before where like a player got first in masters and then first in juniors or seniors with the same archetype, right? They'll usually find another deck to print somewhere like the second or one of the top four junior senior players. There's been top eight or it's mostly been top four or better. It's pretty rare that
Yeah.
a top eight players deck gets printed, but it does happen as well. But the only certainty is that the Masters Champions deck has always been printed. That is the only guarantee. And I don't
Yeah.
even, I mean, it's not necessarily a guarantee. It is just the only thing that has been true every single time they've made
Yeah.
this
I
product.
think you'd argue it's definitely a guarantee. I don't even know what my take has been on this in the past, but like I didn't even like realize this until you said it, but then I was like, "Oh, no, that is how it is." But yeah, I didn't realize that juniors and senior yeah, oh, I knew it happened, but until you said it right now, I forgot that juniors and seniors winners don't always get their decks printed, which, like you said, they're trying to encompass the format a little bit with this as well. So, like, if all the divisions were won by Gardevoir, them printing 4 Gardevoir decks would feel
Yeah, they wouldn't
a
do
little
that.
weird. Yeah.
And we even saw like the um 2024 World Championship decks. They, excuse me, guys. They did not print the deck from Senosuke, who got second in Masters
Yeah.
because they printed hold on, if this will come up. Oh, that's just the one deck. Why can't I just find an image with all of them? There we go.
There you
This
go.
one. Um okay. Well.
Call the text. The text will take you to the page. Oh, you can't even
Come on,
never
buddy.
mind. Oh my
We'll find them. Here we go. Um they printed the juniors winner, which was a Roaring Moon deck. And so even I don't know this for sure, but it feels like they were like, well, we're not going to print the second place deck, which is also a Roaring Moon deck. They wanted
Yeah.
like a little more variety, right? Even though this one was Ancient Box and the Roaring Moon deck was like a Roaring Moon deck, they're two different archetypes. They're like similar enough where it's like they want to make sure that there's enough diversity. And like
Yeah.
they also want to follow the story of the tournament, right? And one of the big stories of the tournament was Jesse Parker's kind of out of nowhere run with Miraidon, the deck that wasn't really thought that much of in the format anymore, right? So
Yeah.
um, that was what I think part of what probably why that deck got printed. But yeah, I
Also,
mean
we
for
should
this
talk
year,
about Riley's deck name choice.
dude,
Dude, I cannot believe they actually I don't think they knew
they
what that
have to
meant.
have known.
Dude, I cannot
They
believe
wouldn't
they
print it if they didn't know what it meant.
unless they thought it stood for something else. Like, dude, it just seems so ridiculous that they actually uh went with the name that Riley chose, which is KSI's Gardevoir.
Yeah,
And I
so
think I saw on Twitter the reason that Riley picked this name is because he listened to KSI's "In the Thick of It" song going into the finals or something. Maybe that was a troll. I don't know. That's what I saw on Twitter. I don't
no,
know how
it's
he ended
true.
up.
You don't know this? Dude,
No,
he loves this song. He loves it. He talked about it in the video that I did with him and Isaiah at length about
he's a huge
how
fan.
it's like his one of his pre-tournament rituals. He just jams out to this song. It's like not a meme. It's not he loves that song. And so this is
That's so
KSI's
funny,
Gardevoir, bro.
dude. I can't believe they did it though. Like, I mean, you're right. They must know, right? They must know what it means. But yeah, that is a surprise that they were like, yeah, KSI's Gardevoir. That's cool. Let's go. We'll rock that.
And then
Now
we
I want
got
to
Fu
know. Now I'm curious what other choices he gave because you give them like four choices or something like that to pick from. I wonder if he just wrote KSI's Gardevoir 4 times, and then they're like, "Well, we're spawn trapped. I guess we have to pick."
Yeah, yeah. So they give every player an opportunity to name their deck. And actually something I didn't realize, because I haven't opened my 2024 World Championship decks yet to sleeve. I haven't really had the desire to play the 2024 format just yet. Um, but they actually removed the silver borders on all the cards. That was a thing for a long time where all the cards had like this signature silver border for the World
Hmm.
Championship cards. That's not the case anymore.
I guess everything has silver borders now, right? So
Not everything, not in 2024 it didn't. There's like
what?
switch
What,
cards
what do
and
the cards look like then?
they look like cards, man.
Oh, but the backs are
The
the.
backs are still different, and then they've got this player signature on them.
Well, were the silver borders on the world's cards? Well, maybe they want to do that on purpose to like show that this was the transition point between. So some of them have yellow borders, some of them have silver borders, then,
Nah, I
right?
think that the silver border thing is 100%. Hang on, I've got one of the decks right over
Do
here.
the
Let me
silver
reach for
borders
it.
on the current cards look like the silver borders on World's decks of past?
Probably pretty similar.
Yeah,
Here you
so
go.
that's
We
what I'm
can
saying.
compare.
Is that why they did it? Because they're like, oh, we have both. That I think that's like a kind of like unique thing to do. Is like let's include what had what
So,
borders.
like, here's a Keldeo EX from
Worlds.
Jacob Van Wagner's World deck. You can see it's got the
Yeah,
silver
yeah.
border, the unique back, his signature on it.
Where the
Um,
X is shiny or non-shiny?
no, they're not. It's all non-hollow, the whole
Oh, okay.
deck.
Yeah.
So that does feel a little weird because it's like a I don't know an extra. It makes the deck uniform.
No, but I think it adds some lore to the format. I like it, to be honest. Like this was the transition point. This is the transition worlds where they
Well,
had
it
yellow
just
and
looks
silver
really
borders,
bad
right?
whenever there's like the mixed yellow cards in the last year's decks.
I think it adds some character to the product here. I'm a fan. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. There's like there's a lore. Like people open this world's deck 10 years from now and like be like, wait, why are there yellow borders and silver borders? And then they'll go Google it and learn more about the game.
One other thing I did want to talk about around this topic was it was pretty funny online to see the reaction of like the collector community to this product. There was
Dude,
people, there was like
just
this one guy who's
miserable.
like, I saw that a lot of people were reacting to his tweet. There's like, there's no unique promo card, like nothing cool about like, why are they making this? And
These people are miserable, bro. They're miserable people. They have no joy in life, and they're trying to bring everyone else down with them. Absolute misery.
I do look forward to picking up the 4 Worlds decks as I do every single year, adding them
Maybe
to
don't
my
pick up
collection.
KSI's Gardevoir. Just go 3. Just go 3 this time.
I gotta add it, bro. It's gotta
Wait, what
be
were
in
the other
there.
names? Actually, now I'm curious. What were the other names were pretty
Yep.
vanilla, right?
Yeah, we got KSI's Gardevoir. We've got Jolt Dingo from Fuguan Liao. Then we've got Yuya Okita's JP Raging Bolt repping
So
the homeland.
there's no Mew EX in there then for sure.
Yeah, good meme, good meme. And finally, we've got Pult Bomb from Jose.
I like that more than Poltnor for sure. Maybe that's why they went with Jose's because Justin
He
is
gave
saying
better
for his deck
deck
we're just
names
better
maybe
deck
than
names are like
Justin.
yeah. He got outclassed in the the deck naming process.
Justin just wrote Gumi 35 4 times.
Give me 35s, Poltnor. And they're like,
Yeah.
no,
That's a
we're gonna go
goated
with
name though for to be honest.
give me 35. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling here, Azul, and let's look at those brand new cards from Nullifying Zero over in Japan, Nihil Zero, maybe for us. We don't quite know yet what this will look like, but we do know all of the cards that will be in the set. This does come out in Japan, what, this weekend, right? Yeah, January 23rd. So,
Yep.
and it's just a few days away. This set will release, and
Rotation.
it'll
This is rotation in Japan as well.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yep. So rotation happens. So we'll start to see kind of what that looks like. And it's going to be a big shakeup. I'm actually really curious to see what's going to change. I mean, lots of cards rotate, research rotates as well. So that's a big change up too.
And they did not confirmed no Iono or other hand disruption card. That's it. We have confirmed, and I've said it in like the last couple episodes. It's like, all right, a format or two. It's like, okay, maybe that's fine. Or maybe, I mean, honestly, now I have been saying recently that I'm like just a big believer in the direction the developers are going. The game just feels kind of fun to play, but I mean, it's been pretty stale recently. I mean, it definitely seems like they messed up a little bit with Gardevoir, with um with
With how
Pulse,
terrible all the trainers Pokemon are.
Go, how terrible. Yeah, that's like they they just I mean, it's a good thing that they didn't like panic though and all of a sudden make something broken though. So I think it's like that's a good thing, I guess I would say. Like it seems like they were like they stuck to their guns. They were like, okay, we decided the power level we wanted cards to kind of exist at, and it is unfortunately a little bit lower than stuff like Gardevoir, like Pult, like Golden Go. But we're gonna maintain this. We're gonna ride this out. So and then rotation will hit. Obviously, Pult still sticks around, so who knows? Pult might just be the BDIF until it rotates. Hopefully not. Still have some stuff to combat against that. And who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we don't need the hand disruption. We're losing a lot of one hit KO potential, or like aggressive one hit KO potential, I guess, like through in terms of efficiency, like with the Golden Go, Guard EX rotating, be able to use one prior to take one hit KOs. Raging Bolt rotates as well. So maybe the game will just naturally slow down to the point where having a heavier late game hand disruption card like Iono won't be necessary. And there'll be so many choices to decide in the mid game. Like the mid game will just be longer that I don't know, maybe it'll just all kind of work out and it won't feel that bad. But I doubt it. And I feel like this upcoming format is just going to feel worse in terms of depth of strategies. I think that's the main thing we lose when we don't have an Iono or something similar. But honestly, nothing really compares to Rocket's Admin N or an Enda Iona, which are basically all the same card for the most part. Like, even when we have stuff like Roxanne or Ace Trainer, they're just not as good comparably, or even something like Twins, I guess you could argue is kind of in the same realm of cards in terms of like comeback potential. We also lose Counter Catcher, although for a lot of the ways that that card was utilized with Pult Nor, I don't think that's like a huge miss, to be honest. If Pult Nor is still going to stick around, that deck not having Counter Catcher might just be
Yeah.
a plus for gameplay. But yeah, we just lose a depth of strategy when stuff like Iono and N don't exist in the format. So I think we're headed towards a less enjoyable format moving forward in terms of depth of strategy. It'll be fresh to not have Golden Go and Gardevoir around, and I'm hoping that we're only taking a couple formats off from an Iona reprint or something like that.
Yeah. You're gonna go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that the plan?
No, probably not, but it was a good meme.
That's what you said.
Well, yeah, I was obviously lying.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel I know it feel I think I would have enjoyed this if like the boss reprint hadn't happened, you know, just to like mix it up a little
Yeah.
bit, have a bit of a refresh of like just making the game feel different. That's what I've always loved
Yep.
about Pokemon is that from format to format, the way you can strategize, the way you can deck build can change so much based on a given format. And then like like a core usual element of the game being gone for a little while, um, can be like a refresh, right? For a few
Yep.
months. And then like, if it comes back, I think like solid hand disruption is in general a good thing to have in the game, but I don't necessarily hate the idea of like seeing what the game looks like for a little while without it. So maybe they've got it planned 3 months, 6 months, like two one set, two
Yeah.
sets away. We'll just have to see. But yeah,
It
I
is a
don't
good
know.
point that with Boss, if Boss wasn't around, it maybe would have been felt like a lot. Like even though it's like different, it would have been like good different. But now it feels like it's gonna be like bad different. Is like my prediction. So I don't think it's like a fetch prediction as well. At least it'll be like new sets still rotation. So I think this will still feel decently fresh, but you still want the better player to be winning at a certain level. Even for players who are less competitive, they don't realize that they want that in a game. Like some players might think they don't care about the better player winning at a certain rate, but it affects every level of the game from like super casual to super competitive.
And then did you see Jake's graph and math on
Yeah, on
the
Harlequin.
optimization of Harlequin versus Judge as a supporter? That Harlequin, if you're trying to specifically prevent your opponent from having a singular card, aka boss's orders, Harlequin is statistically better. I didn't actually read that in depth in it, but I let him do the work and trust that
Yeah.
like I saw this graph and I'm like, okay, like I don't know what this means, but he did all this work. So and he's saying that Harlequin is better, so that's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure the math on it is that your opponent just sees less cards on average, right? Or
It's the same amount of cards on average, right?
amount of cards on average, but it still disrupts your hand. It has the potential to disrupt them to a lower hand
Just because of the
size.
potential upsides
Well, no,
of
because
less
isn't
safe
it?
cards.
It's the same thing as like Birch versus Shauna, right? Birch was the better card.
Well, that's not true because it was on average more cards. Birch was 4 or
Oh
7,
yeah,
so on
four. Yeah, yeah.
average it
True,
was
true, true.
5.5
Yeah,
cards.
yeah, yeah. My bad. I thought it was like wasn't it
Shauna
six
was
and four? I
always
thought it
5.
was I thought it was 6 and 4, but you're right. It was 4 and 7. Oh yeah, so it's not the same math there. I thought it was the same math, so I was just like, okay, yeah, sure. No, but you're right. It is. I didn't even like think about it that hard. Okay, actually, yeah, I guess I'd have to read Jake's whole thread here then, which I haven't done yet. I kind of just took his word for it. I was like, yep, Jake's probably right. All right.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. I'm just like, good enough for me. Let's go. I'll be
Yeah.
playing Harlequin. um,
Yeah,
yeah.
this and formats, I will say, do feel a little silly whenever cards like this are like meta cards. Like th- they've done interviews and stuff before with creatures who like makes the trading card game where they've said they don't only want to make like good, interesting, competitive cards. They also want to make fun cards. And
Yeah,
you
goofy
can
cards.
usually tell what the fun cards are because they involve things like rock, paper, scissors and flipping coins. But every once in a while, those rock, paper, scissors and flipping coins cards become meta cards, and it doesn't usually feel the best when that's the case.
Yeah, I remember literally playing it was Lucian, but with a different name. What was the card called? The
What Two
first
Galactics wager?
no, no, no. It was the same thing. You both shuffle your hand in your deck, and one of you flips a coin, and one draws 6, one draws 3 or
Oh,
something like that.
Ilima.
Yeah, literally the first league challenge or league cup I played in with Zoropod post rotation, I had Ilima in the deck. I don't even know if Judge was legal. I feel like Judge had to be legal.
Judge was definitely legal. You guys were
Yeah.
trolling for that. Actually, maybe it
No, but you
was.
want was Judge even? Yeah, maybe Judge
No,
wasn't
yeah,
even
Judge
legal.
was in Breakthrough. This would have been Breakthrough on. Wait, no, N was legal in Breakthrough on.
Yeah,
So it would have been
yeah,
Sun and
and
Moon
rotated.
on.
Yeah.
Was Malamar legal at the time? Because I think that's the next print of Judge was the Malamar
I
set.
think so.
So then Judge would have been legal if Malamar was legal because it is this set right here, Forbidden Light.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was just literally immediately after. Well, we could go to Limitless and just look after. What was the first tournament after rotation that year?
Philadelphia Regionals, I think. It was the start of the season.
Judge was legal at that. No,
Yeah.
did a new set drop?
Or it was like the Oaks PA or whatever.
Yeah.
No, Malamar was legal because people played that Shining Lugia
Oh
Malamar
yeah,
deck,
the
I
Malamar
remember,
deck.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Judge was legal, but I played Ilma. I don't even know what that
And
meant.
that
Well,
was the
maybe yeah.
tournament that Gas Can was that
Yeah.
Turbo Malamar deck was the thing too, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not then. Maybe it was.
You guys were definitely just trolling. That was definitely just like a Jimmy, like, this is the this is the card.
We didn't play it at major. It was just like I was just playing
Oh, it
at a
was a
league
cup or
challenge.
something? Oh,
Yeah, it was like a
okay,
cup or a
okay.
challenge. No, because for that Philly tournament, we played quad Judge Zork. We had
Oh,
quad
so then it was legal. So you're saying
Judge
unless
Zorak.
Forbidden Light came out before that tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I don't remember. Yeah, because Ilma just seems really bad when Judge exists. So I was like, why did I run an Ilma?
No, it
So
existed because, the Worlds format that year was Breakthrough through Celestial Storm, and then Rotation was immediately after Worlds, and Forbidden
yeah.
Light came out before Celestial Storm, so it was legal.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to get creative. Be like, Judge just doesn't do enough, or I want like a potential for a better supporter in the early game. So sure, Illima. I was maybe just trolling as well. I don't know what
It's
the
maybe it's just a Azul side quest here, playing Illima
yeah.
instead of. I remember my first tournament, a League Cup in that format. I also played Zoroark, but I remember playing Apricorn Maker in my deck.
Yeah, I had Apricorn Makers in the Zoroark deck as well. Yeah.
Searching
And
for
then
two. It's literally worse ball guy.
yeah, and then the better way to play Zoroark became just like playing Great Balls, I think, or something like that. Like it was like four Great Ball, four.
I think you
I
guys were
don't
the
even
ones who
remember.
untapped that, right?
Yeah, the Great Ball Judge Zoroark engine.
Yeah, I do
So
remember that.
so terrible. It was like it was fine for like what we have. It was so bad.
And I think maybe
Really
looking
bad.
back just through this conversation, you could say, like, on average, those first sets, the first, formats after rotation generally are, like, a bit scrappier, and it makes sense because there's less cards, right? Like, the decks
There's a lot of
feel
innovation that
worse.
happened at that
Yeah.
first tournament as well. A lot of innovation. Like you said, the gas can deck, the Garbodor Buzzwole deck that Caleb used to win that tournament specifically.
Mhm.
And then Guardy GX even made a comeback. Oh no, that was a little bit later. That was the LAIC that year with Robin. Robin Schultz played but that was a couple sets in, I think, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's um, always gonna be a lot of skill to the game, but it just feels bad to lose a card that adds so much depth in terms of strategy. Like Iono doesn't prevent aggressive decks from being playable. It just means non-aggressive decks can be playable. But sometimes without Iono or non-aggressive decks just aren't good. And then we're just in a way more linear format, which is just
Mhm.
generally worse in terms of diversity of decks, and then also worse in terms of the better player winning more often, which means the game will just feel worse, like I said, to everyone at all levels. You think you might not care if you're like more casual, but trust me, you'll care when every game just feels like a literal coin flip, or the
Also, if
more games
people are
feel like a
playing
literal coin
Judge
flip.
and Harlequin in their decks, you are going to lose more games
Turn one
to
Judge going
bricking
second,
off of
like
turn 1 Judge from your opponent
turn one
than. Yep.
Harlequin.
Yep.
At least it's not Marshadow, but still, it doesn't mean it's good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be worse, but but there's no reason that we have to like play in such a mid format. And all it would really take was just them literally reprinting Iono. Like, I don't know. It's interesting that they haven't, but maybe they have plans for the future. Like, I want to believe. Like, I've been a big preacher of just believe in the developers for quite a while now, even though the game been feeling a little stale for a while.
Dude, no, I'm seeing the future right now. I'm seeing the future. We're going to at Worlds in the closing ceremony as they're showing off the next thing in the cards. They're going to just flip around a Pokemon card. They'll see the back. They'll flip it around, and instead of it being like Super Duper Giga V Star V Max 8 prize card Pokemon, it's going to just say in,
I mean, I'll be
and
down for
everyone's
it.
going to lose their mind.
But that means we have to sit through this for like 7 months, 7 months, 8 months, 7 months.
And also play a Worlds in that format where there's no
Yeah.
I don't know, the
Which, like,
biggest,
yeah,
most
obviously
important tournament.
it's not for sure gonna be bad, but it's just like we have so much history in the game now to like look back on, especially in like a more modern sense, like post black and white. I feel like is the big break point that people like talk about. It's just like it just doesn't bode well for the future of the game. And of course, like there's infinite as far as the future goes, and literally the next set they could print Iono again, right? But it's like it just doesn't bode well for the future of the game on average. Um, in fact, yeah, in fact, I would literally just argue that every format where we're forced to play like Judge or Harlequin, um, just compared to like a Marnie format, like that's terrible. Like we had Roxanne in that format as well, but it didn't matter because Roxanne is such a worse card compared to Marnie that you'd maybe play one Roxanne sometimes.
I don't know that Marnie is the card we should be picking to model after.
So that's what I'm saying. That when we're forced into those like next format, everyone could have four Judge in their deck. Like that's pretty similar to
Mhm.
a quad Marnie format. That's a bad format. Marshadow bad. Non formats without N and Iono are just worse than formats with N and Iono. Like I don't know. We'll see. I want to be hopeful, but I'm not. I also want to be like somewhat realistic as often as possible. So it's like, yeah, I'm trying to be like, it's a mix of being like wanting to be hopeful, but also being realistic and like kind of setting expectations. So I'm not like too bummed out.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten through the biggest story, which is a card that's not included in this set, we can look at the cards that are included in Nihil Zero. So let's get through it here. And we've already looked at a lot of these over the last few weeks as they've been slowly revealed, but all of the cards are revealed now. So we can look at just a couple more interesting ones that came out with this last reveal. Starting off with the Talon Flame here. It's a stage 2, evolves from Fletchender. Of course, it's got the ability Sky Hunt. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, your opponent discards a random card from their hand.
So I actually don't think this card is terrible when it could be backed up by a lot of like disruptive attacks. We have Clutch, we have Badoo. Like play a 4/4/4 Talonflame or whatever, get some rare candies involved, and then you just like start harassing your opponent with disruptive attacks and then picking a cards out of their hand. You got Unfair Stamp still. We have Judge, like we mentioned. Like I actually don't think the card is terrible. I guess like the question will be like, I mean, you should be able to get these things online
It's
pretty
a
quickly
stage 2,
too.
buddy.
We have four. You have rare candy. Rare candy's not rotating.
But what's your guy? Who's your guy?
What do you mean? 4
Is
4 Talonflame.
mhm,
Do early, clutch later.
just clutch them up.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Have you ever played the Neo decks with this card?
No. What is this one?
It's the exact same ability. Flip a coin. If heads, look at your opponent's hand. And oh wait, no, it's not the exact same. Sorry. This is much better.
You
This one
look
you
at
get
it.
to look at their hand
Oh my
and
goodness.
you get to choose a trainer and shuffle it back in.
Hmm. Oh, it doesn't discard though.
It doesn't discard, it shuffles it back in. But
Okay, but it's a
this
stage one. Stage
this
one B.
ability reminds me very
I
much of this Noctowl and
guess the
the deck.
knockout isn't a win condition though, right? It's just like it's disruptive.
Yeah, so you play this with a Dark Gengar that puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep, and then um, they get stuck active, asleep, and the effect makes it so they have to flip 2 coins to wake up, and they're just yeah, it's pretty toxic, and,
Yeah.
it's really funny to have a board of 4 Noctowls and just go glaring gaze, glaring gaze, glaring gaze, flipping a bunch of coins and just ripping cards from your opponent's hand.
We also have Elgim as well. We got LGM to move the energy around. And also any deck that can like start to win games without drawing prize cards is just really good because Liz determination is broken. So like any deck that can win can like progress towards a win condition without drawing prize cards, like it's such a good I don't know. I like that card a lot. I'm a big fan of the ideas, the possibilities for it.
We've got Turtonator with the ability Thorny Shell. When this Pokemon takes damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon while it is in the active spot, discard an energy from the attacking Pokemon.
Hey, put that with the Talonflame. Stick that in the active, start hitting with the Talonflame, we're cooking.
It's definitely going to be a pre-release deck.
Talonflame Turtonator.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We don't know the
Uh,
promos yet. Talonflame could be one of them, right?
could
Or I guess
be.
the
Could
promos
be.
don't matter. It's what's seeded in the deck. The promos don't make it.
Hmm.
Wait, are the decks, the cards that are the promos, are those always part of the things or no? Are those always some of the cards
Yeah,
involved in them?
generally.
Okay.
Generally, yeah. Then we've got a Mega Clefable EX. I saw a lot of people being like, "What the heck did they do to Clefable?" It's always funny whenever it's like the TCG players see like the
Yeah.
new video game Pokemon for the first time. But yes, there is a Mega Clefable now. It's the in the TCG a 320 HP stage 1 Mega Psychic type Pokemon with the ability Wings of Light. Prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. And then Shooting Moon, 120 plus. You may discard up to 4 energy cards from your hand. If you do, this attack does 40 more damage for each card discarded in this way, just in time for Superior Energy Retrieval to rotate, and also Tulip, both cards this could have used.
So right, that does have a partner coming out in the set. Honestly, this card, I don't know. It seems like okay. We have Wonders Patch to set it up. And you're hitting for 280, which means you're a maximum belt away from one hit KOing most things except other megas. I feel like there could be something here maybe for the Clefable. Do we have any other Clefables in the format? Is there any other Clefables? We got some other Clefables
There's a
that
couple
I'm
that are
getting back.
rotating. I know there's like the one that like attaches a therapeutic. Oh, that's a Wigglytuff. Dude, even ever since I was a kid, literally since I've been
Yeah,
a
it's
child, I
I've
have confused those 2 Pokemon.
same. I actually have as well.
Yeah. This guy, oh, an Evolution Series hero right here.
Oh, Metronome.
Wait,
Okay.
hold up. This card, Wonder Patch exists?
Yeah.
Why are we not playing Clefable, dude?
We don't have Clefable, Mega Clefable yet. We need the combo.
Dude, get this guy in there with an Ignition Energy? This guy could be cooking some Dragapults or something right now with the Lily's Clefairy. Hold
That
up.
all it's doing though? Oh, there's also Clefable EX.
That rotates.
Aw, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
This was its moment, and it
Yeah.
rotates before it can have it.
I don't know if it would have been its
Unlucky.
moment. Yeah, so no
Oh,
other.
also the more moon Clefable is rotating as well,
Yep.
which was set up perfectly for, like, the damage numbers.
Oh, yeah, you could just, like, get in there with a cheeky 4 prize turn on a Mega or something like
Man,
that.
they just didn't wanna see Mega Clefable shine. They're just haters. They made the card and they're haters, like, I don't even know what's going on over there.
Hate to see it. And then we got Aroma. How do you say this Pokemon's name, Azul? We were talking about this beforehand.
I won't say it.
How are you saying it?
Aromatease.
That's how most people say it.
Proper pronunciation is
So we're gonna read this Aromatissy here with the ability Fragrance Collection. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic psychic energy, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
actually
trolling. That's how you say this Pokemon's name.
what is this artwork reminds me of, I read the book, but then I also saw the movie. What is the movie, though?
Where the wild things are.
No, uh, it's about a kid and a toll booth appears in his room, and then he goes into it, and it teleports him to another land. And like the movie is initially like live action, but then he ends up in a cartoon world, whatever. Someone will know what I'm talking about. I just don't. A Phantom Toll
Page
Booth?
Master?
Phantom Toll Booth, I think.
Phantom Toll Booth?
The art style reminds me of,
I'm not familiar with the Phantom Toll Booth. This thing?
yeah, the dog with the clock. Yep, that's it.
I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, the art style reminds me of the movie.
Interesting. It's fun. You saying that made me think where the wild things are, and I do kind of also get the where the wild things are vibe from this.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that for sure. But yeah, this card
Uh,
obviously synergizes with the Mega Clefable, and I mean, it's just like a decent ability. We could see it combo with other stuff in the future as well, for sure. So it's kind of a solid card, good ability.
yeah, yeah. Then what was next? We've got the Mega Gengar. Wait, not Mega Gengar. It's just Gengar.
You will
I,
probably play it with the Mega though.
you probably would. So it's a stage 2, of course, with 130 HP. With the ability Infinite Shadow. If this Pokemon would be knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, instead of discarding it, you return it to hand. And then it's got the attack Mind Jack for 1 dark energy. 10 plus, this attack does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon.
So this is interesting specifically because Mega Gengar says if your Dark Pokemon are KO'd by a Pokemon EX, your opponent draws 0 prize cards. So this thing could like infinite, just be infinite. You could just have infinite Gengars for 0 prize cards against certain decks.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be, I don't know, there could be something there.
You
Like,
do run out of energy in theory, right?
yeah, but you would need to play like what? A couple recycler. You probably need to play some super rods anyways, because they can pick your hunters and
Well,
Ghastly's
Super
on
Rod
early on.
rotates.
You would need to play Night Stretcher, I guess. Night Stretcher. You just play a lot of
Maybe.
Night Stretchers and like a 4/4/4 Gengar. And like two, can you play 4 of the or 3 of these and like 2 megas or something? I guess you only need like 2 of them to be honest. Like two of these, 2 EXs, or two of these,
Mm-hmm.
2 megas. So I don't know. It doesn't. It's not terrible. Like that's like pretty good synergy right there.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean,
You're not
is
hitting
it
very
doing
hard.
enough? You're not disrupting your opponent. They're going to have boss's orders, you know? So
Yeah.
your Mega Gengar is going to go down at some point, right? And then I mean, it's a lot of setup to get to this point as well, right?
Yeah. And for anyone who's like I guess like I said, this is a perfect like deck to look at that. That's the problem with Boss's Orders, and we kind of see the problem with it or Gust Effects in general with like a lot of the decks in the current format, like uh playing 4 Boss's Orders in Golden Go or 3 in a Prime. Dragapult plays 3 Counter Catcher, 3 Boss's Orders. Just like when you have such easy access to your opponent's bench, it like just like how not having an N and Iono decreases the depth of strategy, having so much easy access to Gust does the same thing where you just can't force your opponent to interact with the active Pokemon. Your opponent can be like, that's a cool Pokemon. I'm gonna go bring up one of your bench Pokemon again and again and again and again. So that's why like boss and stuff creates really not always boring, but like very similar gameplay patterns. As opposed to like if the Gust was more um restricted. Counter catcher, stuff like great catcher, custom catchers in the past, even Pokemon catcher where it's an item they have to flip a coin with. Or the other gust effect we have right now where it only brings up basics, right? It's like those are not always constantly active and require something else
Mhm.
on your opponent's side of the field that they can play around and make it so that it's more likely that you have to interact with the active Pokemon, which is uh opens up more depth to strategies in the game. But when most decks can completely ignore the active Pokemon, the depth of strategy lessens in the Pokemon TCG and becomes more linear, which is just makes things more boring. And the longer we have something like Boss in the format, the more similar the formats and games of Pokemon feel. So for anyone who's a little bit newer to the game who maybe doesn't quite understand why people in the game don't like bosses orders as much, like this is a good example. Like Chip said, why would your opponent KO your active Gengar when they can boss punch your Mega Gengar, right? Even if they boss it 2 turns in a row to KO it, that's better than drawing 0 prize cards. So just give people some perspective on why
Yeah.
boss for so long is so
Or
cringe.
even like boss KO Haunter if you've only
Yep.
got one Haunter, and then you KO the Gengar the next turn, and now you're forced to find rare candy if you want to attack again, right? To like keep you
Yeah.
off of it. All right, well, let's get down to the trainer cards. This is where there's kind of a decent amount of interesting stuff. So let's start with the Lumiose Galette. Maybe is that how we say it? Heal 20 damage and one special condition from your active Pokemon. It's definitely like the type of card that I could see being played like in a certain format. If there's like a
Yeah.
certain, it's like a tech card to counter like a specific thing, you know?
Yeah. I also like the limitation of one special condition, although like that'll never probably come up. Like all special conditions is just kind of like obnoxious. It allows for the possibility of like a multi special condition deck to still exist against like a card like this.
I think
So I guess I
isn't
like
Pokemon
mentioning
Center
that.
Lady legal?
Yes, but it is a supporter. A little bit
It
slower.
is, yeah. It's an interesting card because it actually this Pokemon Center Lady was it wasn't super played, but it wasn't like
Mm,
uncommon to see it be played
yeah,
like in the XY era, right? Like
yeah.
it got played sometimes, but basically since this first print of it, like even the second time it got printed in the XY era, like it was much less played. Like this card has barely been played and it's been legal for a long time.
Honestly, the more I think about it, with just like the gameplay of the Pokemon TCG in the history, like I feel like no card should ever heal all special conditions. Special conditions are already so weak to begin with. The fact that you can heal all special conditions actually just seems kind of bad. I wonder if did the first Pokemon Center Lady come out when Hypnotoxic Laser was a thing.
Yes.
So I wonder if like the current iteration of Pokemon Center Lady is just a carryover from that, but maybe they are trying to make like a difference in terms of card text with this new card where it only removes one special condition. I think that is probably the correct way for cards to be balanced, to be honest, because special conditions are already like terrible, and most of the time you're only affected by one. So if there's ever a card that affects you by multiple, we probably shouldn't be removing multiple special conditions from like the deck
I
is
don't
already
know.
probably bad. Why are we
I don't know
nerfing
if you
that
can
deck?
call it a correction though, because it is literally printed in Mega Evolution. So like
No, that's what I mean. Like it feels like maybe they've suddenly realized, oh, well, that's what I'm saying. Like they just like let's just reprint Pokemon Center Lady. They didn't think about it much past that. But then when they print
so
this
then
new
2 sets
card,
later, they're like,
well, yeah, well, now they have to invent a new card though, right? So like, okay, let's invent a new item card, heals and heal special conditions, and maybe they ask themselves the question then, okay, let's have it just do a special condition, which I think is probably the correct approach based on the
well,
history of the Pokemon TCG.
we've got Rosa's Encouragement. You can only use this card if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. Attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your stage 2 Pokemon. So you talked about the setup decks being weaker because they don't have, I don't know, to
Yeah.
disrupt or in or something like that. This is a pretty good card as a trade-off,
Yeah.
though. This card is really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely a big boost for the slower stage 2 decks. And I think you'll definitely have to find time to play this as well. Play it as like a 3 or 4 of count so you can find it aggressively. I guess we have
I
Meowth
feel
now
like
as
you
well
play it
though,
as like a
so
1 or 2 of. Yeah, I think it's like a low count card, but
but if you're
like
but if you're a setup deck, putting Meowth in play is like pretty bad.
I
Like
think it's like a similar to Raihan type of card.
yeah, I guess I
Um,
could see it. Maybe it just, like, kind of fills the gaps more so than is your main strategy.
yeah, because like you of course can still like be attaching energy cards, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you don't have to rely on this card to supply your energy every single turn.
It's true.
One of the first card, I don't know why I think about this card so often when like new cards get printed, but hey, this card does synergize really nicely with Cynthia's Garchomp.
Yeah, that is fair. Another Cynthia's Garchomp card. Although we are getting the Barbaracle as
Maybe it'll
well.
Get there someday.
Yeah. Or you know what this could work with? Tyrantrum?
No, no.
Okay. Actually, it doesn't even work that well because Tyrantrum needs a special energy to actually like fully. So you know, you're right, Chip. You're right on this one. It actually doesn't work that well, Tyrantrum. It's the card's already so good, it doesn't need it.
You know what it
So,
does work well with?
mm,
The Mega Charizard decks.
yeah,
Mega
that wouldn't be
Charizard
terrible.
XEX and Mega
Is
Charizard
that
YEX.
is it that good though?
I
Because
mean,
find Recycler instead. I think you have to find the energy though. I guess. I guess like you could Meowth for this, right? I guess it's gonna be like one of the main draws, especially for the Charizard Y, right? Because then you can like leave it in the active and then just like recharge it and go
see, I'm
again.
interested to see what happens with rotation because I think like a deck, like a Mega Charizard XEX deck, like
Yeah,
could be a good meta deck.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential for like what will happen post rotation. And then finally here, I think the last card we're gonna look at. Oh no, we've got the psychic energy as well. We're gonna look at just synth though. Heal 150 damage from one of your psychic Pokemon. So you are limited to a psychic Pokemon, but that is a lot of healing. That is a ton of healing on a card. Is that I
I
think
mean,
that might be the most healing we've seen besides like Max Potion, which is all damage.
yeah, and I honestly, this is kind of one of those things where it feels like, and I think I mentioned this a couple times. It feels like they're finally just being like, shouldn't these things just heal more? And they're like, all right, give it plus 50 or something like that. Like Leafeon, I feel like was one of the cards I mentioned when it happened because Leafeon heals like 100 from each of your bench Pokemon, and the card is still like hella mid. This card, healing 150, that's a lot. It is limited to psychic, but like it's like okay, finally like these healing numbers like are actually matching. I guess the ice cream cone as well is like finally feels like it's on par with like the damage that we're doing and the HP that we have. We're actually healing as much or healing in comparison to those numbers. So yeah, I mean it's cool to just see that. I don't know how good this card will be. I don't know what psychic deck you can put in that's kind of like tanky. Maybe in a Mega Gardevoir deck it could work. Who knows? But just like I'm just happy to see the numbers get boosted up for healing to make it like more viable. Because it feels like as of late, like healing your Pokemon is just kind of bad. Like just
Mega
turtle it.
Diancie.
Yeah, make it an Ansi plus this maybe. You're tanky. So yeah, I'm just happy to see the numbers be higher for the healing stuff because it feels like been pretty mid. Of
And then a little more psychic support here with
course.
Telepath Psychic Energy. And this is a good one. When you attach this card from your hand to one of your psychic Pokemon, you may search your deck for 2 basic psychic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. One of my favorite energy cards that's ever existed was Capture Energy. I just loved the fact that it's one card that does so much. It gives you your attachment, like it fuels the attacks and helps you to find your attacker, find your support engine, whatever it is. And this is just that amplified. This card is so sick.
Yeah, the only thing bad about this card, it's really good with Dusknoir and
Yeah.
Dusknoir decks. So something like a Frillish Dusknoir deck, like we've seen Jellicent Dusknoir in the past. But I don't know, this could be like a big missing piece for something like that, which is like anything that's like good with Dusknoir, I'm not a huge fan of. Um, So that's an L. But besides that, I mean, good card is limited to just psychic. Like you mentioned, capture energy. We've had call energy in the past as well, which is it's not necessarily a bad thing. As limited to psychic Pokemon. But the one thing that I look at this and I'm just like, man, anything that helps Dusknoir, I'm just not a fan of. So it's like the one thing that stands out to me. But besides that, yeah, really powerful card for sure.
Last thing I want to say about these cards is I don't think it's been revealed yet, but there is 1000% going to be an illustration rare of this Gengar, and it's going to be worth a gajillion dollars.
Yeah. Wait, hang, click on it again. Is there something in the bed behind? What is that?
Someone's soul or something.
Is what is
No,
that?
it
Is that
looks
a Pokemon?
like 2 pillows, but maybe not.
There's something under the covers.
It looks
Is
like
it a
there's something
Pokemon?
under the covers.
Is it a Badoo?
It's not a Badoo.
It looks like it's something, but I can't tell what it is.
All right, Azul, we got to keep it rolling here. So we got a lot still to talk about. So we're gonna talk here about the Ace Trainer rewards. Excuse me, the Ace Trainer rewards program. We've talked about it the last couple of weeks. We mentioned last week, I think it was, that they had said last year, hey, by the end of January, we're going to be sending these cards out. And what do you know? That week, they actually posted an announcement. They sent all the players who were Ace Trainers emails. I assume, Azul, you got your email. Is your Ace Trainer promo on the way?
I didn't look. Uh, I'm like looking at my email right now to see if I actually got it. Well, who'd it be from? Pokemon?
Yeah, JP.
Yeah, I did get the email. Yeah,
Yeah.
being mailed soon. Yeah, on the way.
So the promo card is on the way, and made a post on the website announcing some of the changes to it for the 2026 season. It's still in effect, but the biggest change I think is the fact that it now is going to include the Latin America region players. They're going to be
Yeah.
eligible to receive this promo card, though it does say that they will not be mailed. Please note that physical rewards cannot be mailed to the following countries: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Uruguay. Are there players at Worlds from Trinidad and Tobago and like all these countries?
No, I'm not sure. I don't. Not all of them for sure. Well, maybe.
There's a lot of countries represented at Worlds every year, but
Yeah,
anyway,
maybe.
the reward won't be able to be mailed, but physical
They must have
rewards for
official play at those in the countries at the very least. They have like official
Mhm.
PCI
Physical
leagues.
rewards for LATAM trainers will be distributed in person at select regionals and or special championships during the 2027 season. So they've found a workaround for the fact that there may be some logistical difficulties in
Yeah,
getting them mailed out. So it's not perfect. It would definitely be better if they could mail them, but I think it is a solution for sure.
good compromise. So the celebratory fanfare is the card we're getting for 2025, right?
Yes.
We're not confirmed getting that card for 2026. We're gonna get like a card or something.
Uh,
Like, did they say? I didn't actually realize that. When I thought of the Ace Trainer awards, I thought the card was like an Ace called Ace Trainer.
no,
Like, but that's not
it
true.
does say celebratory fanfare.
Oh, will it be different artwork or?
Yep. It's a different artwork
Okay.
every year. This card has
Oh,
existed
okay.
for quite some time in Japan. It's given out every year in Japan, but now this is
Mm.
the first time they're giving it out in the US.
Oh, okay, cool.
I wonder if anyone's pre-selling it on eBay. It doesn't look like it. I have to imagine this card is going to be expensive. Like super expensive
Yeah, probably because
because
it's gonna be decently exclusive, right? Like,
it's
there's not gonna be that
extremely
many.
exclusive for sure.
Yeah.
A
There's
lot
not
of
gonna be
people
that
are
many
probably
left
going to
to
hang on to it. Um,
graded.
but there's like those master set collectors out there. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta like people are gonna want it just because it's like a card that exists, right? Um, to complete their Mega Evolution promo sets. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be more desirable than the World's promo, at least initially. But we'll see. That's my like my vibe with it, at least. We'll see if that's the case cost wise.
Yeah, and I think, like, in the email, they did basically confirm pull it up again because I closed it, that there will be more to the Ace Trainer program moving forward as well, right?
Yeah, and they outline it here actually as well, where they say trainers who achieve ace
Yeah.
trainer status, subject to the qualifying criteria, will receive a celebratory fanfare card as well as an exclusive deck box and card sleeves in Pokemon TCG Live, a custom Play Pokemon 2026 Ace Trainer badge in the Play Access app, a code good for 2 Elite Fast TMs, 2 Charge TMs, Fast and Charge TMs, and 100,000 Stardust in Pokemon Go, and more to be announced at a later date.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's cool. That's cool stuff. It's cool to that I like to see the crossover into TCG Live for sure because there just should be, that makes sense. The badge is kind of a cool thing. Honestly, doing more with that as well could be pretty cool in terms of, like that's where you could add something as well. It's like if you day 2 an event, you get, like, a day 2 badge for the tournament or whatever, or stuff like that.
In the app.
Yeah, in the app for the
I
tournaments
don't
you're
know how many
doing.
people actually even use this app.
Not many, I don't think, because there's not a lot there to use. I mean, it has the same event locator as the one on the web on, what's it called? On the website. Nobody uses that, so, um, I guess a little underwhelming,
It's
overall, I
like
guess,
the
like,
easiest thing they could have done. It's like
yeah,
like digital rewards are great, or they should exist. I will welcome them, right? I think everyone will welcome them. Everyone is happy to get something cool and exclusive. Like this is, an easy win, I think, for Pokemon, but also at the same time, it is like the easiest of wins, like the
Yeah, it's still
simplest
this
thing they could have done.
this does kind of feel like last year they were like, "Oh, this thing is happening." Like, "Oh, that's super cool." And then they did literally the bare minimum. And it feels like it's like, "Well, you have to do more than that." And they knew they had to do more than that. And it feels like they're maybe just kind of doing the bare minimum once again.
It does say "and more to be announced at a later date," so, to be determined, I guess, but
Yeah, but we can't give TBCI that much like leeway with that kind of stuff. I think that's like not fair to the community to be like, "Oh, but there's more coming." There's
yeah,
always
yeah.
more coming from TBCI or more things are going to change and it just takes miserably long and usually isn't even that great to begin with. So like, yeah, I'm not like this is still like I think just like a letdown overall for the program. Um which could have been so easily so much better, but it's
I
just
would love to see, I've said it before, my, like, dream for this is, like, that different levels of championship points earns you different types of rewards. They're more exclusive, more unique as you go
yeah.
up, deck boxes, play mats, exclusive, Switch Joy-Cons for the VG players, exclusive phone case for the Pokemon Go players. Like, there's so much they could do, right?
Yeah, and it would also like harbor. Yeah, it would just give honestly, and that kind of fills a little bit of that gap of like we have cups, we have challenges, we have regionals and getting your worlds invites. But like if you can't get to the top 125, but you can get to 400 championship points, you earn
It's
this, right?
an
Like that would
achievable goal.
fill. Yeah, it would give like more things for people to achieve and play for in the game, which I feel like is like a big thing that a lot of people feel like is missing. It's like league ups and league challenges are cool. Major tournaments are cool. Something in between would be cool. Something to earn besides your world's invite would be cool. And yes, the Ace Trainer program exists now, but it's like so the least they could ever do. And sure, like maybe 5 years from now, it's everything we could ever want it to be. But it's like it just takes so long with TPCI sometimes, and it's just yeah. I don't want to give them like too much credit or like yeah, be like, "Oh, more stuff's coming," so it's like, it'll obviously be better even though it doesn't feel that good right now because it's always that way with this, so it's still, yeah, just kinda disappointing. Disappointment. Feels bad.
Well, so let's keep it rolling here and move on to everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. Guess that flavor text, where each week either Azul or I will pick a card, read the flavor text from said card, and have the other host try to guess which Pokemon is featured on that card. We do, of course, keep score. It's been a little while since we've had some points scored. I was able to ensure Azul couldn't increase his lead as he is the one out in front right now, 41-38. But I am looking to roar from behind. And this opportunity this week is my chance. Shout outs as always to Tim Games, the listener who keeps up a nice little spreadsheet for us with all kinds of stats and helps us to keep score and helps Azul and I to remember exactly where we are at. So we appreciate you, Tim, for taking care of it. But yeah, it's Azul's turn this week. Like I said, if I get it right without any lifelines, I get 4 points for each lifeline I use. That's one less point. The lifelines are what set the card is from, what stage the card is, and read an attack name in Azul. Yes, I am ready.
Alright, Chip, this week's flavor test is
What
it
did you just call it?
this week's flavor text is?
It's okay. You never mind. You definitely said flavor test,
Oh, I said
but it
text.
doesn't matter.
Maybe it just sounded weird.
It did just probably sound weird.
Okay.
That's why I was like, ignore me.
It
Continue.
looks just like rotten kelp. It hides from foes while storing up power for its evolution.
Rotten kelp. Storing power for its evolution. Okay. So one of my first thoughts is Skrelp. Um, that would be a Pokemon that would like hide from foes. But that seems a little too on the nose. I don't know. Um, looks like Rotten Kelp could it be like Frillish, maybe. Also, Skrelp does not really look like Rotten Kelp. What Pokemon looks like Rotten Kelp? Galarian Corsola. That's like a rotten shell, maybe. I'm thinking of like the water ocean Pokemon. Um, oh, Rotten Kelp. Thinking through like the older generations as well. Um, Probably could use a lifeline to narrow things down here. Let me start actually with read an attack name.
Hide.
Oh, come on. Hide. I mean, I feel like Shelder is a Pokemon that has hide, but that guy doesn't really look like rotten kelp. Could Skrelp be identified as rotten kelp? Maybe it's like purpley, so maybe Marini or something like that. Marini, I feel like has hide. That sounds on brand. Stored power. Does Marini learn the move stored power? What set is the card from Azul?
Breakpoint.
Okay, I know that set pretty well. Because that's right around the time frame I started playing, so I opened a ton of Breakpoint packs. I think I bought a booster case of that set and opened it. Um, and I think there's a Psyduck in that set. I don't think it's Psyduck. I'm pretty sure there's a Cloyster in that set and a Shelder. It wouldn't be Marini. That didn't exist yet, so that's out. Galarian Corsola, I didn't think it was that, but it's out as well. I think it's almost certainly a basic Pokemon, so I don't really want to use that lifeline. Let me hear the flavor text one more time.
It looks just like rotten kelp. It hides from foes while storing up power for its evolution.
I mean, I feel like Skrelp is on the table. I feel like I know this set pretty well, and I cannot picture the Dragalge that would be in the set. I can kind of picture the Skrelp. I kind of think there is a Skrelp in the set. I'm not as confident in Shoulder and Cloister being a thing. I don't know. I feel like I might just have to lock in the Skrelp here. I feel like I can picture this card as a Skrelp. Uh I can't what is the Dragalge? Because I could just be mixing it up with like the one of the earlier XY set Skrelps. All right, I'm just gonna lock it in. It was kind of one of my early instincts as well, was the Skrelp. So I'm not gonna use that last lifeline. I'm gonna lock it in, try to go for 2 points. I'm guessing Skrelp.
All right. The last lifeline. The answer to the last lifeline is it is a basic. Are there even any stage ones or stage twos with hide?
I don't think so.
Like, is just a basic Pokemon attack. And honestly, you seem really confident to know what rotten kelp was. What the heck does rotten kelp even look like?
I mean,
Um,
kelp is just like seaweed, basically, right?
yeah, but what does rotten kelp look like?
I
Like, what
mean,
is?
seaweed that's like rotten. I don't know. Maybe that it's purple, like a Skrelp. Yes.
And I did look at its what's it called?
I'm liking the way this conversation's going.
I did look at its evolution, and I could not remember ever seeing this card either. And it is the
Let's
Skrelp.
go.
Dude, you just like instantly locked onto Skrelp off the
Let's
rip.
go, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This is the card I was picturing. The one from
No, it
from
is not
Flash
that
Fire.
one. No.
So I was that's one of the things I was a little worried about, but there we go. Skrelp and Dragalge from this set. Let me see what it looks like if I
Right.
oh, I do recognize this one a little bit. I think this is a holo rare in the
I don't
set.
recognize this card at all.
I don't recognize it from, like, play or anything like that, just from, like, opening packs
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, it
Honestly,
is a holo
Dragalge is
rare.
kind of a it's just kind of a forgettable card. They also haven't printed one in a long time,
Well, they're probably gonna print a new one soon.
based on the fact they haven't printed one in a long time.
No, based on the fact that it got a mega in Legends ZA.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You wanna see
It
it?
Yeah, sure, bring it up. So you make up a little bit of the deficits.
Let's
2 points
go,
here. Bro, I
dude.
thought this would be tough. I think this like this is gonna probably be really tough. Like who thinks about Skrelp? Like who even knows this is a Pokemon? Like it's just
I mean, you did
insane.
his name is Kelp, so
Well,
alright,
yeah.
here's
I guess like do you think that helped you when you heard kelp, you just heard thought Skrelp? But
a
who
little
even
bit,
like
a little bit.
who even like remembers that Skrelp was a word or a Pokemon name? Like that's like what I'm saying. Like
I mean, I was thinking of, like, the water
that,
Pokemon,
wait, that's the
talking
mega?
about no,
Oh no,
this is
that's
the
just
regular one,
okay. That's the regular one.
and here is the Mega.
Hmm. It's got antlers now. It's just as forgettable as the other one, I feel like. I feel like the Mega's gonna come out, and then no one's gonna remember Dragalge.
Well, you say that,
It
and then
rotates.
watch the Mega be, like, absolutely broken when it comes out.
That'd
And
be
it's
cool. It'd
got
be
the
cool to
psychic if
see.
they make it a psychic I guess it'll be a dark type, right? Because it's poison, or it might be a
Yeah.
dragon. Wait, are they doing dragons right now? Is there
Dragon
been
Pokemon exists, yeah.
wait,
Zekrom
in
and
Mega,
Zekrom.
though?
Oh, I don't know.
Do they exist in Mega?
Wait, what do you is Dragonite make a Dragonite a dragon type or
Oh,
no?
yeah,
It
you're
is,
totally
yeah.
right. I'm trolling, yeah, yeah.
I wasn't sure the question you were asking, to be honest.
Yeah, Megalodios, okay. There's just not that many of them. I think, yeah, the only
Oh,
Mega
is there have we ever seen a dragon be a mega be a dragon?
no, 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 no. I was saying, have we seen dragon type Pokemon be printed in the Mega Evolution block? That's what I was saying.
Oh,
That's what I was
sure.
saying.
Okay,
And the
okay.
only one is Mega Latios and then Latios. So
And now Dragonite coming up.
Dragonite coming up. But there was none in Phantasmal.
Also Dragonair? Isn't Dragonair also dragon type? I think it is. But
Yeah,
Dratine's
I
not?
think it is. Yeah. The
Dratini might
Dratini,
also be dragon.
yeah, I think is. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Those cards are already so forgettable though, because they're
Agreed.
not going to be any good.
All right, Chip, you get two. It would be nice, and honestly, now that you're just like one on that, it'd be cool to see some more Pokemon get their moment in the TCG as far as play goes. I feel like there's a lot more of that in the VGC, where there's like just a wider range of Pokemon that are good
Well, we get to use
times.
some Pokemon that the only place they get to shine really is in our game. If you're talking about competitive Pokemon, like
Support
Mew, for
Pokemon.
example, has been a great Pokemon in the TCG, and it's like
Yeah.
never it's not ever been legal for a competitive VG format that I know of.
Mm. Yeah, that's true because they just can't play with legendaries or whatever, right?
Mythicals,
Mythicals. Yeah.
those that like are event distribution exclusive type Pokemon. They like never get played. Jirachi is another one that's like never been legal. That's had a gajillion great TCG cards.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get some heroes once in a while, Comfey, Sableye, Cramorant. Those guys aren't very good in VG.
True, true, true. That's fair. Maybe it is a little bit more. Maybe it's just like, yeah, looking at their side of things where it's like, man, these Pokemon just all suck in the TCG.
I promise you one thing.
Huh.
There's no way anyone has ever done anything in VG or Pokemon Go with Badoo. That is for sure.
It was weak everywhere else. Yeah, sure. I guess like we have, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit more depth in terms of like what a thing can do to be useful in the TCG than VGC probably.
Yeah.
Voodoo can be pretty useful.
All right, so let's look at the results from the Toronto Regional Championships. 2,270 players. Probably would have been a little bit more, but a lot of people did unfortunately get their
Yeah.
flights canceled. I know, especially it seemed like people coming from Europe had to get turned around. That happened pretty regularly.
Yeah.
People from the southern United States had to get turned around. Really, probably from just about anywhere. I mean, the issue was in Toronto. Like it was just a
Yeah.
terrible storm. Um, and people were talking. I mean, when the schedule got announced, a lot of people were saying, like, why are we going to Toronto in January? Maybe
Cheaper.
we got a little punished for going to Toronto in January. I have to wonder if maybe that won't be the case again. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. It just that answer just has to be that it's cheaper, right? Like that's got to be the like if you could pick, you would never pick January, right?
Yeah, no.
Like you never pick that. So yeah, I don't know if it's that. I mean, like theoretically, you should try and avoid like bad times, like, I see it's just really winter based, right? Like, theoretically, you should try and avoid the winter,
Yeah.
although I wouldn't mind trying to avoid when it's hot going to places as well, like,
Yeah.
but let's
Like
gotta,
going
like,
if we're going to Orlando, maybe in like
not
January or February would be the better time to do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, like, the places where
Yeah.
it's, like, really, really hot. Like, you gotta be somewhere in the summer if there's, tournaments in the summer, but, like, yeah, don't go to Orlando in the summer, stuff like that. So, like, that would be ideal, but it's obviously gonna be more expensive at those times to do well, I guess I imagine Orlando in the summer is probably just as expensive as it actually is maybe cheaper in the
It's
winter
probably
still then,
cheaper in the
yeah.
winter. Yeah.
Yeah, let's put try and move Toronto to the summer, try and do that to the winter if we can. But if not, like I don't know if it's that big of a deal at the end of the day. It's just kind of unfortunate that the storm caught a lot of people. I think one of the things that is interesting though about this one in terms of or one stat that stood out to me is that there was more US players than Canadian players at this one. And there probably would have been more if not for the storm. And is this the first time ever that there's been more US than Canadian players at a Canadian event? I think it might be.
I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah. I think this might be the first time ever. I just look at the last couple recent ones on
Is
labs.
there's a way to see it on labs, right? Where do I need to
Yeah, just click on the country filter tab, top left.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we
okay. Yeah,
go.
wow.
60 more, and it probably would have been more, if not for the weather, right? So,
What is LB? Libya?
no clue. I don't know.
Lebanon.
Lebanon. There we go. Robin apparently doesn't have. They must not have like official play then. That's why like Robin doesn't have it updated
It's
there.
in the yeah, I don't think so. I mean, well,
Yeah.
they have there's a rating zone for the Middle East, South Africa, right? So,
Oh, is there? Maybe they do then. Robin doesn't have all the flag images updated. Yeah, that was an
um,
interesting stat that came out of the event. And like, yeah, the storm definitely hurt Canadians the least. So, um, yeah, just kind of interesting. But I think it's the first time it's ever happened. I would bet on that.
and yeah, let's take a look first off at the metagame for the tournament, and it's finally happened, Azul. It's been a while since we've had a deck reach these heights. I think since Reggie Drago is
20%.
how long it's been since we've seen a archetype get to 20% day one meta share, but Golden Go Lunatone has eclipsed that number.
Yep. Yep. It's all the way up there at the 20%. And I don't think it's a shock that it was number one. And honestly, it's not even that crazy that it is 20%. I feel like there's a lot of build up to this event where like a lot more players were gravitating towards Golden Go. Kind of can't beat them, join them type mentality. I was a little surprised to see. Well, I guess Gardevoir was the second most popular deck, truly. I was surprised to see Pult Dustnor though, uh, kind of be right up there aside. I thought Pult would have been
You
like a
did
little
not
bit
like
lower.
Polt going into this event at all.
No, I was not a huge fan of it for sure, but it did do pretty well when we get look at the
I mean,
actual results here.
one,
Like,
2, 3, 4, 5
5,
in top cuts.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I think those are like
And
the main standouts. But yeah, we look take a look at conversions, see if there's anything crazy here.
yeah, and there really wasn't anything crazy. One thing I just want to call out is like we are seeing like where this is just kind of what happens. It feels like in the formats where
It's pretty top
um
heavy.
it's a long format, right? It gets
So
really top heavy, and I mean, look at the drop off after the top four decks. We see 21. This is variant grouping on 21%, 15, 14, 14, all the way down to 4 for Enzor.
yeah, and then I mean it's part of it might be long format, but it is just the good decks are so good, right? Well, I think it's a little combination of both, right? Like
Yeah.
long format, and then we get to the point where it's like things get refined more and more and more. And it's like everyone has like the best ways to play the best decks, and then more people gravitate towards them. So there's less ways where you can take advantage of the top decks with other decks, and then yeah, you're just kind of forced into I got just have to play one of the best. You have to play one of the top four if you're trying to be maintain competitive. Um,
How'd my Sarah Ledge peeps
overall.
do?
Ooh,
Just Ross.
let's see the list though. I'm curious. What do you run? Anything crazy?
Still on the Carmine. Still has Briar. Still has Palpad.
No Trilber.
No Drillbur. Yeah.
A lot of recovery though. Double stretcher and the super rod.
Yeah. Took his losses to Charizard, Gardevoir, and Charizard.
Yeah, did take
Charizard
down a couple
Pidgeot.
Cardboard there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing crazy in terms of just go to the conversion real fast. I'm just curious if anything was crazy
Yes.
in the conversion.
It was not.
But yeah, probably not. Make it just like highest
It
first.
was it was the same, a
Number
festival lead with
one.
the highest conversion rate. Let's go.
Yeah, Gardevoir is like the top
Yeah.
populated deck with a high conversion.
But without variant grouping, it was the same 6 decks on the day 1 and day 2 graphic. The
Yeah.
only thing that happened is that in day, 2 oh, it
Did
actually
anything
changes here
change?
with their with the I think that our Charizards might have been all grouped together. I don't remember for
Yeah,
sure. Um,
they
but
definitely
in Zoroark
were.
was the 6th in day 2, but,
Okay.
I think that there was a swap, oh, yeah, that would make sense because in day 1, Charizard was the 2nd most popular deck,
Yeah, then
and
day
then day
2,
2
Dragapult
yeah,
overtook it.
yeah.
Okay, makes sense, yeah. Well, yeah, it's only if you split the Gardevoirs, though, but if you put the Gardevoirs together, which, like well, if you're combining the Charizard, you should combine the Gardevoirs, which means Gardevoir was the most popular or 2nd
Maybe it
most
actually
popular for
wasn't
1 and 2.
combined. I don't is the I
I
think
think it was because it said
it's
Pidgeysard was Pidgey no, in day 1, it was, uh in day 1, it was Golden Go, Dragapult, Charizard, Gardevoir, because Charizard was like 10%, but it said it was Pidgeysard that was 10%, so it was definitely both Zard variants combined into the 10%, or they labeled Noctowl Zard as Pidgeysard.
yeah, which I think could have been the discussion because I think it was initially labeled as, like I don't know, there can be some weird things going on here, like, if we look at some of these Pidgeot Charizard decks, um, I guess this is where your classification falls under, like, sometimes if there's, like, less like, a lower count of the Charizard, like, it'll get classified as something weird, so
Yeah,
something it's just, like, kinda because they have to do, like, a blanket thing, right?
yeah,
Um
make it easier
I'm
going from
involved
that.
in, like, some of those discussions when it comes to, like, how things get labeled and grouped, on the stream side of things, but not on the back end, like, where how it's formulated before the data gets to the stream, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nothing too crazy there, same decks at the top, but, I would say the results were a little surprising, but I think it goes back to and I feel like I say this before, and then I'll, like, be like that makes sense actually in terms of the results a little bit, like when you apply like something or like some things that I've talked about in the past where it's like I think the two standouts here is Pult did really well and Golden Go, they were still one and cut, but look at the next highest placing Golden Go.
It's down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's way down there.
Yep.
Oh, it's way down
Yeah.
there.
There it is.
Holy 58.
Yeah. Sheesh. That is quite now I think it's a little bit of an anomaly for how popular it was. I think if you rerun this tournament, probably maybe 2 Golden Goes in top 16 at least, you know? Like, that is quite the drop off.
That's
But
crazy.
literally every deck was more prepared in terms of knowing the matchup and teched for Golden Go than we've ever seen. And this is like what I've said before in the past. It's like, let's say Dragapult with Moltres is still maybe slightly unfavored to Golden Go as opposed to unfavored. It's like it still got a little bit closer. And then if every deck adds a little something for Golden Go, even if they're not beating it from where they were previously, it's like that chips away at Golden Go's expected win percentage in the tournament overall. So maybe it's not that big of a surprise that Golden Go didn't have that good of a tournament showing here, besides Justin in top 8. And maybe that also speaks a little bit to Dragapult's more success, where it's like if everyone's hating on Golden Go, I mean that's one of my unfavorable matchups, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit better myself as well, and that's maybe why Golden Go we saw be a little bit more successful. So, or Dragapult be a little bit more successful as well than it had been previously, because it's not even like just me saying I don't think it was a great play going to this tournament. It also just wasn't doing that well at tournaments as well. But it did show up pretty big here at this one. Despite it didn't make the finals, but 5 in top 12 is pretty good.
Yeah. Let's start. You were mentioning Golden Ghost. Let's just look at that lone Golden Go in Top Cut real quick. It was Justin Templar getting 8th place. Of course, Justin, first year master, off to a great start. You got top 8 at LAIC, now top 8 here just a
Yeah.
couple months later in Toronto. So I think that that's not that big of a surprise to a lot of the great players that he's already making a name for himself. But
Yeah. And I would say a pretty interesting take on the deck compared to what people have been playing. No Lopunny.
yep.
Stuck with the Mega Mawile instead, and then had some
Oh,
interesting inclusions in here as well with, like, the bravery charm, which I have to imagine is,
yeah.
like, probably pretty good in mirror, but then I'm sure comes up in other situations as well.
Yeah, definitely pretty
So,
good in mirror. It actually was kind of funny in his game against Jesse Parker on stream. It was nice because he put it on like Lunatone in his active spot that now can't get amped,
oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's
It is pretty
kind of
good.
funny. Um, and then also a Cyphermaniac, that's a card
Yeah.
that we saw for a long time as like a 4 of supporter in Golden Go decks, and now
Don't see it
basically
much
nobody
anymore.
plays it, yeah,
Yeah.
at all. But playing it as a one of, I guess, makes sense, right? Because one of the problems with the deck is like, I mean, at the end of the game, you're trying to draw out of Iono, right? So you've got the Cyphermaniac to kind of set your deck up for the end, and then also it's just in general, like it just in general synergizes with the deck with Pheasantipity, with Lunatone, with Golden Ghost, so you can get use from it. You can of course find the one off Secret Box if you want it. And then yeah, did play that Premium Power Pro plus Vitality Band combo, which was not an uncommon combo to see through the weekend, I would say.
Yeah, definitely, and I kinda like the Mega Mall while kinda thinking about it because like, if everyone is so, heavily worried about Golden Go, not only does that mean that they're teching for Golden Go, which Mega Mall is, like, kinda good still against, like, Toad Scroll and stuff like that, but it means, like, no one's gonna be playing decks that you need Mega Lopunny to solve. Like, people aren't gonna be playing the Crustals and Cornerstones. The main inclusion that you're gonna have to be super worried about is probably Toad Scroll, if anything, if it comes up, and then Mega Mawile is, like, good against Toad Scroll, so it's like the Lopunny it's not that, like, the Lopunny it's just that not the Lopunny can't do that, but it's like you're not gonna be running into Cornerstones and Crustals where you actually need the Lopunny because no one's gonna play it because everyone thinks that Golden Go's playing Lopunny. So if you just cut the Lopunny, you open up so much space in the deck. It's one card instead of two, and then you don't play the TM Evo, you don't play the Ultra Ball. You just free up that extra space for like the text for the mirror, like we saw in that, or the Cipher,
Yeah.
or the Bravery Charm, which may be a little bit more neutral of a tech
Also, there were
in other
techs for
situations.
the tech of the Mega Lopunny. We saw quite a few. I think I saw more Sandy Shocks EX this weekend than I've ever seen at a tournament at any point in this card's locality. There was quite a few players playing it in Toronto.
Yeah, and Sandy Shock. I mean, I feel like that's kind of just become a staple in the Raging Bolt, though. Overall, like people have just been gravitating towards that as like an
Have
inclusion.
they? I don't.
Yeah,
LAIC. I mean, Yurko wasn't playing it. It doesn't look like people have been playing it.
well, I mean, people just haven't been playing Raging Ball at majors, but like I was like the most recent build that I played with it. Blitzel's had it in his builds for forever. I guess the inclusion in the Mega Absol that's new.
Yeah,
That's and we did see that pop up. That's an interesting inclusion for sure. But in the Raging Bolt deck, it's like pretty common, I think. Inclusion as just kind of a good late game ancient Pokemon to put alongside a Raging Bolt as opposed to like another Ogerpon or something like that.
sure. Yeah, it was actually really cool to see here from the Cifuentes brothers and Cifuentes dad in the mix as well, playing the same 60 with the Sandy Shock. So yeah, this card does a couple things. One, it KOs Mega Lopunny really easily. It just gets you more energy on board. It makes another attacker. It also, at the end of a game, can KO like Pheasantipity, right? I mean, it just can load itself up and become a decent attacker. But um, it also just it kind of operates in the same way that Galarian Moltres V operated for a long time in a lot of decks, where it just gets you that extra energy in play. The energy attachments are
Yeah.
like so important with this deck. So just getting that extra energy into play, you can energy switch it off to something else to make an attack in a surprising fashion. It can be really, really strong. Also, the inclusion of Ethan's Pseudo Wudo here was interesting to see, in addition to the Evil Tall.
Yeah, so instead of W of talking the pseudo involved, I guess to make use of the fighting energy, but also gives you like permanent you can permanently trap like monkey doors and stuff like that
Yep.
or
I watched
chaos.
Marco win a game against Callie White, exactly like that, trapping her Monkey Dory in Dragapult in the active
Yeah.
spot.
That's a pretty cool use for it as well. Yeah, the extra generation of the Sandy Shocks is kind of cool for like chaining back to back Absols and stuff like that. Um, an attacker, energy generator. Yeah, definitely a cool inclusion. And we see like the double energy switch being played in here, and even the counter gain. So like being able to chain those attackers more efficiently, and that can like lead to that Sandy Shocks attack into the Lopunny potentially as well. With like
Yep.
fighting, like you set up your cornerstone, the KO your cornerstone, and then you go Sandy Shocks, counter gain, attach fighting, knockout. Let's come up with the rest of your prize cards from there, but it shouldn't
I've
be impossible.
I've been a hater of this archetype basically since it
Yeah.
kind of came onto the scene. But I do like I think this list is really cool. I like this list a lot.
Yeah, definitely a very cool build.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we ought to talk about the deck that took it all down and the player as well, Giovanni Sasso. Actually, pretty cool here in the finals. Giovanni Sasso versus Andres Gajardo, two players from Latin America battling it out in the finals up in Toronto. Quite the journey to get there. And they actually had played each other once before at the Lima special event that Giovanni won last season. They played each other in like round two. Um, and Andres was playing Raging Bolt then as well, they told us. So, kind of cool little backstory there. But then they play each other here in the finals, and Giovanni ultimately was the one who came out on top with Jealous and Gardevoir.
Yeah, Jelly Gardevoir getting the dub, and I mean, you kind of got everything in this build. I guess the only thing missing is Drifloon. We got the Mega ANC. Jelson is going for the thinner Guardy line, the 2-1-2
Yep.
with the 3
No
candy.
Evo.
Yeah, no Evo. Got the Latias in there for the aggressive Jelly attack. Um,
The
he's playing the Watchtower. He
Watchtower
included the Watchtower
Mystery
tech as
Garden as
well.
well.
Yeah, has the tech card for the Charizard matchups. Pretty good against those. Yeah, I mean, as a Gardevoir, no surprise to see it get the dub here at the event. It's cool to see Giovanni getting another strong finish here in his second season now as a master.
Yep.
And looking forward to see what else he can do in the game for sure. That's definitely really cool. It's also really cool to see two Latin American players. Like I don't even know the total amount of Latin American players at the tournament was like not that many. Like yeah, what does it say? Do you have the labs? How many total was there?
So we have
Under
four
50.
Brazilians. Oh, I see. Yeah, 23 from Latin
Oh,
America.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
even see that that he had that up there, but yeah, only 23 from Latin American region, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good, outcome there.
definitely. And then I think probably the biggest surprise of the tournament. I don't know. I mean, there's a couple big surprises here. I mean, there's two Grimmsnarl in this top cut, so that's a little bit of a surprise to see a couple of them. But I think the biggest surprise has got to be Raging Bolt making an appearance all the way in the finals. Here from Andres from Chile. And yeah, some unique stuff going on here. I mean, the Sandy Shocks we mentioned, the Mega Kangaskhan, still playing that Wellspring Mask Ogrepon tech. This is what Yerko has kind of been playing for a while. Also,
Yeah.
Chilean player, Glass Trumpet. So yeah, lots of options, and a Professor Turo.
Yeah, and they
I
had,
don't know
like,
if Turo
the
has been in Yerko's list in previous to this. I know he played this deck at LAIC. Yeah, there was no
Turo.
Turo.
Yeah, like, Turo inclusion is interesting. I'm curious what that is in there for. Maybe just Retreat Lock? Maybe just need, like, a little bit more to beat Retreat Lock? That could be it. And we see like the way Raging Balls kind of had to pivot, it feels like to be competitive by playing the water pawn. And we've seen like some lists like even have go as far as crystal as well. But we see this one, the E switch is in there to be able to get to the water pawn more aggressively, or to set up baby Raging Bolt more aggressively most of the time. And then the Vitality Band, I have to imagine the main reason to include that is the water pawn being able to KO Soul Rock and Lunatone. Or being able to KO the
Yeah.
Soul Rock or Lunatone that's in the active for a double prize turn. I assume has to be the main reason to include the
Yeah.
Vitality Band.
It can
I
do
actually
other
played
stuff
against
too. It can let like the Kangaskhan guarantee 210, right? Which
yeah.
is a
I was
relevant
gonna
number
say
against like Latias and Fez.
I did play against Yurko in round 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4, and, he used it turn 1 to KO my active Charmander with the Vitality Band or something. Turn 1?
Mm,
No, it was like turn 2 because I think he had to search it out with what's it called. But yeah, he got a 1 prize knockout with, the Baby Bolt from no energy on the board, so he's able to get the knockout there. We ended up tying though, round 3, that's what it was, yeah. Yeah, there definitely are
so
some use cases for it.
what do you, I mean, is there like credence to this deck in this current format, Azul?
No, I don't think so. I think Raging Bolt's still pretty mid. But like it's still a good deck. I think a lot when people hear me say like a deck is like a bad play or I don't think it's a great play, it's like the difference between like in the current yeah. Like if a deck is on a tier list and you're like grading a deck on a tier list, it like making top cut at a major tournament isn't surprising. I'm not shocked Raging Bolt made the finals. And if it had won, I wouldn't have been like it wouldn't have been like that crazy. Like Raging Bolt if like Raging Bolt's a deck, actually, I don't even know if I had Raging Bolt on my most recent tier list, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but like a deck like Raging Bolt's a good deck in the grand scheme of like the Pokemon TCG, right? And a deck that would like maybe be on a tier list or is on a tier list, like it's like, yeah, this deck like doing well wouldn't be a shock. Like if Joltik Box had made cut, we saw Joltik Box make cut at a recent tournament actually. Like that's not a surprise, right? It's not a shock, and a lot of it does come down to like I think I had this discussion with a couple of players at this event specifically. Like tournaments kind of or the format's kind of played out. It's a really long, stale format. It makes things feel less interesting. But this is a pretty high skill format, I think. We've been in a pretty long period of high skill formats for a little while. So, and that's like going to be the number one factor on your day, the day of your tournament, right? It's going to be how you play, how well you play. As long as you're
Yeah.
playing a deck, like a good deck in the Pokemon TCG. Like I don't think Andreas here was going to have the same result. No matter how well he played, if he rolled up with Diplin or Festival Lead, right? So Lightning Bolt's definitely on like a different level than decks like that. It's not like that bad, right? It's still a pretty good deck. In making the finals is not a shock, but yeah, I don't think Radiant Bolt's like still that great right now. I don't think it has what it takes to like consistently perform um, at the highest level.
I mean, I think it's like matchups are kind of generally fine, right? It's not like I don't think it besides Gardevoir, I feel like is the hardest matchup. And look how many Gardevoir Andres played against.
Just the one. Finally hit the guard war, took him down.
I feel like the Dragapult matchup is fine. I feel like the Charizard matchup is fine right now too. Um Mega Box feels like a good matchup, I'd say, right?
Yeah, but that's a 2%. I mean, I think you're
That's a
unfair
low
against
meta
Shark.
share deck.
Yeah,
Sure, sure.
I think you're unfair
It's
against.
been higher though. It's been higher.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and like that's another thing at the end of the day. It's also going to be opinion based. Like I think you're unfavored against Pult and Zard. This build though, you actually might have the edge against. You get the Vitality Man in there. You might actually have the edge against Golden Go, whereas previously that felt like pretty close to 50-50. So maybe with like this more water pond focused option style build, you actually get the edge against Golden Go. But like when I say it's like unfavored against Paul, probably could be 45-55, maybe 40-60. But like you still have to win 40% of the time. And then there's the skill diff on top of that, right? Andres is way
Yeah.
better is probably better than like 95% or higher of Dragapult players at the tournament, right? So he's gonna skill diff a lot of people. But that
Yeah.
speaks to his skill, not the deck, right? Like my opinion on the deck can be correct, or you can think I'm wrong. Maybe you agree with me, but it's like at the end of the day, he's way better than 90% of the players he's playing against, probably, right? So that's going to be the bigger factor in your tournament result. Um, so yeah, I mean, still, it's not a bad deck. It's still pretty chill. Um, I wouldn't expect repeat performances from it, but I mean, if good players keep playing it, more good players play it. Who knows? I don't think. I mean, if Andreas and Yurko are going to Merida, I don't think they're going to be changing decks between now and then. So one of them
No.
making cut at Merida with the deck wouldn't be a shock, right?
And then there were 5 Dragapults here in cuts. They're all going to be within probably 2 cards of one another, so not going to spend too much time on it. I will say though, here for Karis, I think she had the most interesting inclusions here. Did choose to play the Dawn, which is not crazy.
Yeah,
Um, it's kind of like you play 1 Dawn, 1 Hilda, or you play 2 Hilda, right?
yeah. I think
And
I think Brox is out, but I think Alberto would maybe have a different opinion on that.
Brox definitely does feel like it's on the outs right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, the interesting one to see here is the Moltres.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, the Moltres is the interesting one. I've been trying out recently in Dragon Ball. I think I even mentioned on like the podcast last week. I was like, just put something in there. Like, I feel like you just need something for the Golden Go matchup. Just put anything that's good against Golden Go in the deck. Um, and Karis did that with the Moltres here. It's something that I hadn't tested enough to be like that confident in it, but seems like Karis came to the conclusion that it's worth having it in there. I don't know, it just kind of makes sense. Like, just have a little bit extra, and it's like so efficient in the deck as well. Like, you have a lot of outs to fire energy. You have Night Stretcher. You're not doing anything in the early game anyways. Like, may as well KO a Genesect or punch a Golden Go or something to like set up for bigger plays with Dragapult later on. So yeah, I don't know if we'll
And
see people continue, or I don't know if we'll see this continue or not, because I think all the other Dragapults did not play anything else special. Yeah,
chaos
so
this guy.
it does. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then
think all the other Dragapults, the only standout, I looked at all the lists. There was the Maractus, and someone played 3 Bidoof. I think those are the only other
3 Badoo.
whole squad.
Holy. They're just really trying to make sure that that guy gets opened.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like opening Badoo is sick, and oftentimes you are night stretching for Badoo in the early game. Like that happens a lot. First Badoo goes
Triple
down, you night
do.
stretcher. There it is. We're doing it. Double Brox. There it is.
There's the Brox. I will say I did watch all of the first game of Karis versus Andres, which happened off stream. Um, and Karras's start was kind of weak. Andres just literally went in with a turn 2 Kangaskhan to take his first 2 prize cards,
Yeah.
and Karras in her
Ooh, I
last 2
kinda
prize
like that actually.
cards it was pretty it seemed good, it seemed good.
Maybe that's one of the reasons to include it is the Pult matchup because you don't lose energy on attacks, and your energy's not vulnerable on, like, a Baby Bolt,
Yeah,
and then it's just like, yeah, it's
and then
more
he
draw power on
retreated it
board.
and then KO'd the Dragapult EX with a Raging
Yeah.
Bolt and discarded energy off the Kangaskhan. But Karras did, in her last 3 prizes, prize both Duskull,
Ooh,
which was
really
not
good.
fun,
It's a good
but
option to have.
good option. And then it was funny watching the next game because uh, Andres was debating what to open with, almost opened with his teal mask, and then ultimately, I don't even remember what it was. I think he picked something else. I think he picked Hoot Hoot. He was like debating teal mask or sorry, yeah, teal mask or Hoot Hoot. Um, and Karis opened the Moltres.
Would've
So
been a funny
it's
lineup.
yeah, yeah.
I was actually gonna say Anthony actually played Rare Candy, so there's a little bit
Okay.
differences in there, you know, it wasn't as
Hold up.
vanilla as we had seen Pult lists in the past. Rebadoo, some Brock, some Candy, some Moltres, so shaking it up in Toronto.
What's
People getting crazy with their Pult lists here.
what's not being played for these candies to get in here?
No third Night Stretcher, 2 Dragapult EX. Actually,
Okay.
that feels weird to only play 2 Dragapult EX and only 2 Night Stretcher. That feels a little bit light on the but there is, like, double Hilda and the Dawn, so there's, like, maybe something else missing.
You can get it out of the deck a little
Only 2 boss.
more.
Alright,
That's
well, no,
okay.
this list is terrible. If anything, it should be 4 boss. Like, we should be playing more boss. You never play less boss.
You got 3 counter catcher. Come on now. We did see the wet goose get back into top cut here. Brent Tonneson with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, playing the it feels like this is, like, the pretty common way people are playing the Jelly. This is, like, pretty close to what Sasa was playing. Did play 3 Ralts instead of the 2 Ralts. No Watchtower, but the triple candy, 1 Curly, a double guard 4 type thing. Had the Mega Diancie in there as well, so this is what we've come to expect from the Jelly Guardy.
Yeah, definitely not much super exciting. And while we're talking about Guardy, of course, we got to talk about Henry Chow making it into top cut. He did lose pretty swiftly on stream. Didn't feel like there was much he could have done about it, to be honest. It was a kind of rough go of things for him. But yeah, no surprise that he played Gardevoir. But yeah, plenty of innovations as always. It's a frillish build, not a jelly build, just frillish. And the luxurious cape making its way back into Gardevoir. It's a card that was played extremely heavily in Gardevoir for a very long time.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it in a little while though, but it's always a strong option, right?
Yeah, I did play some games with this build, leading up to the tournament, and, it's pretty good. Yeah, I almost considered playing the 60. Luxurious Escape's kinda cool. You can do some weird stuff to, like, just make things a little bit beefier, and then it's a good closer card in, like, the Golden Gun matchup, the Charizard, whatever, just, like, you can just nuke with Screamtail at the end. So it's, like, cool protection in the early mid game in some matchups and situations, and then it's always it's like your second Bravery Charm, but even, like, a little bit better even, you could argue in the late game, so
Yeah. And the crazy thing about this list, if we scroll down here on Limitless, this is the first tournament that someone played it at.
I would say on
Very,
top of that, yeah, the first turn someone played at, so that it doesn't even have the result to back it up, which usually leads to this many people playing the deck.
oh my gosh, 17 people in day two on this exact 60.
Yeah. 3 in the top 32. And there was quite a few people who were definitely inspired by Henry Chow's build that were like 1 card different as well. So like this the influence from Henry Chow is bigger than this even. It's
Yeah.
probably quite a bit bigger. There's quite a few people playing obviously Henry Chow inspired builds with like 1 card, 2 cards difference.
Yes. This is free advertisement here for Henry's Metafy group, Metafy class, whatever he's got going on over there, because obviously he's sharing that list because all of these, he's not close friends with all of these 17 people. This is like,
Well, how do
he's
you know?
putting,
Maybe he just has a lot of friends.
he's putting the list out there that he's playing in the tournament.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I actually had this discussion with someone like, what if we get to the point where there's like one really good player for each good archetype, and then everybody just copies them, and like that, like the amount of creativity in the game just goes way down. I feel like we could actually enter an era of the game like that, and we'd probably rebound eventually. And I think there would still be like value in other really good players or other players in general doing their own innovations, but like have to do so much less work to just copy Henry Chow, just copy
I
Liam
think
Halliburton if
that
you wanna play Guardia, if you wanna play Zork, like, it's just interesting that, like,
yeah,
we definitely haven't seen I don't think we've reached the peak of that. The question is, what does that look like, when we get there? I don't think we're there yet. Like, I think Henry Chow will continue to have very high influence in if he continues to play competitively. Obviously, Gardevoir is his thing right now, but he'll probably have something in the future,
it'll
and if, like,
be
players keep doing it, like, it's just gonna be I don't know, just interesting. It's not even like a necessarily a negative or not. It's just like, it probably is overall, like, a little bit it makes the game less interesting. It's not overly, like, a negative, but I'm curious, like, what the peak of that looks like because we're definitely, like, ramping up towards
yeah.
that. So it'll be interesting.
It'd be
Like, this is the
funny
most
if Henry literally just, like, goes retire after Gardevoir
yeah.
rotates. He's like, "Well,
Like,
we had
Guard
our
like,
our ride."
Zoroark was the most popular deck after the big percentage drop off, and that was, like, almost 100% probably due to Liam Halliburton,
And
right?
look at this right
Yeah.
here. Speaking of Liam Halliburton, he gets 18th place, and what, we've got
One
6
of the
people on his
definitely
60.
and definitely none of those people are Liam's friends. So, with that Um, but yeah, so it's just interesting. Like yeah, like I said, not necessarily a negative thing, but it's like something that's just will be interesting to see as it develops as we continue this
I
era of Metafy masterclasses.
I do feel like part of the popularity of something like Henry's group and class specifically is the longevity that Gardevoir has had and the continued success he's proven to have with it for such a long
For sure,
time,
for sure.
right? So I feel like it might be hard. Like, after rotation, Henry is obviously still a great Pokemon player. He's gonna pick up a new deck, and maybe he'll commit to an archetype for a long time if he finds something that he vibes with in whatever the format looks like post rotation, right? Um, but he might not have 16 people copying his list, and it's probably, it's honestly probably 50 people probably played this 60 at the event. It'd be actually that'd
Yeah,
be an interesting stat to know. It's not super easy to look, but we do have all the people's deck lists over on Limitless Labs. It'd be interesting to
yeah.
know how many people actually played this exact 60.
Or within a
Um,
card even, because like yeah, even just one card difference. Honestly, probably
yeah,
everyone who played Lux Cape at in Guard at this tournament, or like 95% of them were probably because of Henry Chow. Like
you
that's
can't
like
look at
the
the card just on Limitless Labs here, can you?
no, I don't think so.
I think it'll send
Do
me
it
to
on
Limitless. Yeah,
yeah,
it
but you can look at it
does.
here and then
This will just be the day two players, though.
yeah. Okay, I mean we got some more luck. I mean, beside in the Guard decks, not in
Yeah,
the every other decks.
it's quite a few. It's like just click on this bottom one, the Watchtower, one less psychic,
And then did have
but
the Mega
it did have
Diancie.
the Mega Diancie, yeah. It feels like, yeah, people are playing like Mega Diancie if they're playing Jellicent. If they're not playing Jellicent, they're not playing Mega Diancie. That feels like
Playing Jellicent, they're
the
playing Mega
difference there. Why exactly would that be, do you think?
Wait, you're saying they're playing it without Jell well, it's also played both, right? Also played Mega Diancie and
No, yeah, no, I'm saying that people are playing Diancie if they're playing Jellicent, but if they're not
oh, because
playing
it gives you
Jellicent,
like a
they're not playing the Diancie.
uh,
I feel like in my
I don't
brain, it would
know.
make
Well, you're
sense to
playing more
have.
tool cards. So, like, Diancie's nice because like, in the matchups where you would attack with it, it can buy you turns, which is the same thing as drawing prize cards faster. But
Mhm.
if you don't have Diancie, you have more tool cards, so you can draw prize cards faster that way, which I mean, that would be a reason. I don't know, ideally, you just play all the good cards like, Pertusi did at, LAIC, and you just play Drifloon and Bravery Charm with the Jellicent, and let's get a Mega Diancie in there as well. I mean, there has to be you can only play 60 cards, so, yeah, no, I don't play enough Gardevoir to, like, really, like, have a strong opinion or thought process on those things, to be honest. Ideally, you just play all the good cards, but, yeah, you can only play 60 cards, so and it does feel like Henry Chow's builds are always, like, trying to be as minimalist as possible in terms of win conditions. Like, he's just trying to play the minimum amount of win conditions you need that he thinks he needs to win a tournament for, like, the current metagamer format. Like, it feels like he never tries to go wide with win conditions. It's always, like, very narrow. Tries to make
And
the perfect read.
lastly, we should talk about the pair of Grimmsnarl that made it into Top Cut. So Again, a deck that I don't think anyone expected that much from, but
Yeah.
it's not a surprise to see one of them make it into Top Cut, but maybe a little surprising to see 2.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely would not have I would have predicted, like, no Grims and Cut for sure. I'd have confidently predicted no Grims and Cut. This is the same thing with the Reggie Ball. I still don't think Grim's that good, like, post tournament. I mean, look at and these lists well, I think that the other list did. Like, this list didn't do anything special for the Golden Go matchup, so it's like, you're still unfavored against Golden Go. Unless Golden Goes are cut in the picnic basket, that makes that matchup a lot closer if they don't have the picnic basket, to be
It
honest.
does feel like most did not play Picnic Basket this weekend.
Yeah, so that's maybe where the edge for the Grimmsnarl players came from a little bit. Because Picnic Basket, one of Picnic Basket's best matchups, its best matchup is Grimmsnarl, and then second best matchup is Dragapult, third best matchup is Gardevoir. So that's I mean that's like a if a card is good against Gardevoir and Dragapult, it's like hey, it's probably a pretty good card to have. But yeah, like Justin didn't play the Picnic Basket, and then I don't know what the percentage of Picnic Baskets in Golden Go was overall though. So, but that helps Grimmsnarl for sure. Did both of them play three Spikemuth? You see the one this one
Yes,
playing
it was the
three.
3-1 split, yeah.
Interesting. 'Cause I think yeah, most people were playing 2-1 or 2-0. I hadn't seen the three Spikemuth in a while, but that's a cool inclusion or interesting inclusion choice.
I wanna see if I can find it. Uh,
Both of them played Badoo as
it's
well, which might be a big card for the Golden Go matchup, possibly. I thought who was here had the Moltres, but there's no Moltres in this build. I don't know why I thought there was a Moltres in there.
found it, okay. One of the very first competitive Pokemon matches I remember ever watching on YouTube. I knew I recognized this kid's name. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
Jordan's come
had
back
some
to the game recently, I think.
he's had some good finishes, like, just over the years.
Yeah.
One of the very first matches I ever remember watching is this match here that's on the Pokemon YouTube channel of Jordan versus Andrew Mahone at the 2015 Winter Regional Championships, a Landy Bats mirror match, all the way back then. So I just thought that was I was like, "I know, like, I recognize this," like, I thought about it over the weekend and just never went and back and looked. I was like, "Is this what this is from?" And yeah, sure
There
enough.
it is. Mahoney needs to scoop here. What are we doing?
Hey, Mahone won that tournament, buddy.
I don't know if he won that game though. I don't know how he'd ever win that
It's
game.
so funny that it's like you just look at a frame and you're like,
Back it
already
up,
locked
bro.
in on he knew you just knew, like, hey, he's cooked. Um,
We go next.
just down like just retained the information from that format that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, that's the top 8. That's the interesting decks for the most part. We talked a little bit about the Liam deck, right? Um, I guess we didn't
Yeah.
talk about it much other than like, there's a bunch of people who played it, but
Yeah. We talked about it
this
last
is
week though.
yeah.
Um, it looks like he did make some adjustments to the build that he had that people were initially like running of his. I think like the build was like the 2-2 Toe Troll, 2-2 Lot Bunny here, but we see cut back on the Lot Bunny, more Monkey Dory, got an E switch in there. But still pretty much that core of what he had been working on and putting out.
All right. Well, I think Azul, that's like the main decks to look at here and talk about. I guess one thing we could talk about is there's no Charizard in
Yep.
Top Cut. It was one of the most popular decks. You yourself chose to play it, a
Yeah.
non Noctowl build. So I maybe just like first let's talk about that. Noctowl versus no Noctowl. Why did you end up on the Dawnless no Noctowl build?
I just Charizard is way more vulnerable to the Watchtower, so I didn't, and it's also worse against Dragapult. So it's like I want to have a better Dragapult matchup. Um, and then I didn't want to just like hard brick to a Watchtower. Oh, because like yeah, the other build is like way more resilient to Watchtower because you're just less reliant on Pidgeot to, or yeah, you're less reliant on. We don't have the owls, so your deck is. I have like 4 Lily in my deck, right? So I can just like Lily for turn. And then you're less reliant on the colorless abilities. Pidgeot, you're still pretty reliant on Pidgeot, I guess, but you don't have the Noctowls. You actually just have draw supporters, so you can play for your turn and play the game. So there's basically those two things. Airpult matchup less susceptible to the Watchtower. There
And
was
maybe
a
that's why Pult did so well is because Charizard was so popular and they just kinda
yeah, just feed on him.
schlapped him a little bit.
Yeah. And then a lot of the Golden Goes, like Golden Go was probably the most tech to get. Like Golden Go was more tech for than any other deck in the tournament by far. So everyone was trying to either in terms of preparation and in terms of like actual card inclusions for sure.
All right, well, let's recap our predictions for the events. The first one was, what would be the highest placing tank Kangaskhan? Kind of a more niche deck that you were really enjoying heading up
Yeah.
over the break, and it seemed like it was picking up a little bit of steam. You said top 32. I went with the top 64. And there was only, what, 7 of them in day 2? 6 of them in day
Yeah.
2? But Samuel's scheme did make it into the top 32, a 22nd place finish for the Tank
Shout out
Kanga.
Samuel. Yeah. Yeah. Love to see it. Easy prediction there on the Tank Kangaskhan.
Next
Knew it possibly
one
go further.
next one was, how many unique countries would there be in Top Cut? You said 5 countries and only 1 Canadian. I said 4 countries. And Azul, what is this? 1, 2, 3,
6.
4, 5. There is 6 countries represented,
Yeah.
but you were correct. There somehow was only 1 Canadian in the
Yeah.
Toronto Regionals Top Cuts.
I mean, most it's mostly a meme. There was actually a comment on the episode last week where someone was like, um, annoyed how much I rag on Canadians, and they were like, "If you keep doing it, this is gonna be the last time I watch the Uncommon Energy podcast."
It's meant to be all
Um,
in good fun, and I
yeah, it's supposed
promise
to.
you, Azul would take it back from you. He does not mind a Canadian retaliating with
Yeah,
dumb
yeah,
American
yeah.
jokes or whatever.
It's a meme, it's a joke, but actually it's just becoming a reality because there's only one Canadian in Top Cut here, so I think that commenter was actually just afraid of reality at this point, just doesn't wanna live in reality because there is only one Canadian in Top Cut at the Toronto Regional Championships, and, yeah, I actually also tweeted that, I was surprised my prediction was correct, and I'm more disappointed than I am happy, but no, I'm also lying, that was also a lie. I'm actually happier than I am disappointed. Next time I predict 0 Canadians in cut at the next,
Wow.
actually, you know what? I predict 0 Toronto regionals next season. I'm gonna go one step further. Y'all don't
You're
even get
just
regional.
they're already down to just 1 regionals. Now you're
They're
taking the last one away.
they're not worthy, bro. They only got 1 player in cut, bro. As soon as they can
Yikes.
win an American regional again, actually, that maybe has happened sooner than I'm thinking, to be honest. I actually don't remember because it's really not that big of a deal, and it's all just kind of a meme at the end of the day. Um, yeah, definitely very funny that it ended up playing out that way for sure. But the cool thing about this Top Cut is how many countries are in Top Cut. That is pretty sick. We even mentioned it on the last episode. This is definitely one of the more international regionals that happens for US and Canada. And yeah, 6 different countries represented. Of course, US and Canada are in there, but a couple more as well. So that's just kind of sick, to be honest.
And there's even more if you go down to the top 32, Japan,
Yeah.
France, and, Norway all in the top 32 as well.
Yeah, just really, really cool to see the international competition continue to grow. And there's people who genuinely thought that regionals should be region locked not that long ago. Like, are we being serious? That was a real opinion people had not that long ago in the Pokemon TCG. I don't know if anyone genuinely has that opinion anymore, but I could not believe it. But instead, we get this great international competition more often in the Pokemon TCG. Super, super sick.
And then our final prediction, pick a player to make top cut. Azul, you it's actually kind of funny because you picked Andrew Hedrick, but you specifically said that you felt like Andrew was gonna finally put down the Dragapult and he was gonna be due for his top cut. And that is exactly what happened. He put down the Dragapult, but he was not quite able to get into cut.
And there was
Yeah,
the most Dragapults in cut we've seen maybe the whole
I
format.
know. Holy. Yeah,
Uh,
and he was on a great run too. He started what,
8-1?
9 and
Oh,
2, 9 and 2. It did, unfortunately, I
yeah.
did watch this game in round 12, got cooked by Emma with the Flareon. That is definitely Flareon's best matchup. And yeah, I mean, it was not much that Andrew would have been able to do
Yeah.
in the game. I watched one of the games. In the game I watched, it was just like, yeah, I mean, Emma, like,
Brutal.
yeah, it was pretty brutal. Um, and then my pick was Liam, who was also kind
Closer,
of in that
but
cut contention, but yeah, one too many ties, maybe two too many ties, but still a solid finish with the 18th place.
Yeah, very, very solid finish. Still keeping it up there. And I think he was pretty disappointed in his play. He definitely was disappointed after his play in day 1. I actually talked to him in day 2 as well, and he said he still wasn't feeling like he was, on his A game. So, but yeah, still pretty strong finish. Definitely one of the like just the best players in the game right now, I think, for sure. So it's gonna be a
Yeah, he's up there.
scary force to be reckoned with at any upcoming major when he's on. A little more on point.
Well, Azul, there are 3 major tournaments this weekend. There is the Birmingham Regional Championships. I gotta make sure I say Birmingham because I'll get yelled at by the Brits for saying Birmingham. That I mean, Birmingham, Alabama is a place. That's how I've said it my whole life. Birmingham. It's Birmingham, but no, it's Birmingham. Birmingham. There's an A in there. I don't know what we're doing. Okay. Birmingham. We've got Merida Regional Championships as well. And the Auckland special event over in New Zealand. New Zealand's first event. Is
In a
this the
long
first New
time.
Zealand event since the pandemic?
I think so. They've only ever had one other event, right? Isn't this like one other Auckland special
They've
event a long
had
time ago?
they've
Or
had
was that like a
Auckland.
thing?
Auckland's been there was a regionals in Auckland in 2017 and then 2 special
Mm,
events 2018 and 2019. Yeah, I think this is the um last time or the first time we've seen it since the pandemic.
all right. New Zealand's making a comeback. I wonder if we'll see many, if any, Japanese players actually go over to compete in this one because it's not a regional.
Right.
No money to win. You can still get your invite though, and I feel like that's maybe one of the bigger draws for like the better Japanese players. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of Japanese participation. Especially maybe from some of the players who went to Toronto, go to Auckland, and then go back to Japan, right? Like maybe that was the setup for some of them just to
Mm,
play for the World's invite.
yeah, it's definitely possible. Um I'll be interested to see how many players they get. The last Auckland special event had 31 players at it. So definitely not the
I'm sure that probably
biggest
did not
turnout,
cap.
but I'm sure it'll be a bit bigger than that. So
Well, yeah, probably quite a bit bigger than that for sure.
lots changed in 7 years, six and a
Yeah.
half years since that tournament. So
I would hope they would have at least have got enough space for like at least 128 players or something like that. So
yeah,
it's 4x, but they definitely probably could have gone quite a bit bigger, I would assume.
yeah. Someone actually asked us about it on our bonus episode a few weeks ago, and they talked about how it sold out instantly. So it does
Yeah.
seem like the demand is there for the space they have for this one. So hopefully they'll in future seasons continue to push those numbers. Okay. Well, yeah, let's just kind of get through this here. So, I mean, I guess just one thing for players competing in these events, what if anything should be the biggest takeaways from Toronto?
I mean, I think it's just like a lot of what we've been preaching. It's just like just don't worry so much about metagaming and format. Just play a good deck. We see like Baltimore still doing well. Raging Bolt was up there and cut. The Grimmsnarls are up there and cut, which I think are definitely those are like the two ones to look at and be like, not even just us, but a lot of people rate Grimmsnarl and Raging Bolt pretty low, right? Like almost a community wide thing. So it's like it, but they're good Pokemon decks, right? Metagames and formats. Some decks gonna be better than others. Guardy's gonna be better, a way better play more often than a Grimmsnarl will be. But like at the end of the day, it's kind of better. Most of it depends on your play on the day of the tournament. So um, I guess like besides that, maybe Golden Go is still gonna be a pretty iffy play going into this weekend. There isn't really time for people to adjust and back off Golden Go or for people to reconsider not taking for Golden Go. I think most people are probably going to run like they're locked in probably on their tech choices going into this weekend. I don't think Toronto changes that very much. So yeah, I don't think there's like too much to take away from the tournament overall. To be honest, I think everyone's going to play what they're going to play, and like nothing crazy happened to make people like switch it up. Yeah, Raging Ball will probably be at a higher percentage played, but, like, not by a ridiculous amount.
Not by a crazy amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we'll see a lot of people copy the Henry Chow list. I think for sure.
Yeah.
For Gardevoir. A lot of people were already copying it because they had the Metafly class. Now it's available to just literally anyone on Limitless. So we'll probably see a lot of people on that exact 60. Its Limitless page will increase this weekend. Yeah, I'll be curious. Maybe some people get turned off of Charizard after seeing how little success it had. Maybe
Yeah.
people swap off of the Golden Ghost. Maybe its meta share would have been 20%. Maybe it drops down now to like 16, 17, something like that. But for them, it will still be a very popular deck, obviously, in the room. Um, so it will definitely just still be like the big four decks, and they'll be like a huge percentage of the tournament.
Yeah, I don't think there's like too much to look at from this and take away. Actually, like going back to the point of just like Emma still like Emma didn't make top cut, but still there at 13th place, right? Like playing.
Playing the deck she knows, playing the
Yeah.
deck she's good with.
Yep. I don't think anyone's rating like Flareon as a super good play right now, but doesn't matter, right? If you just play the deck that you know the best, well, don't like make a last minute swap or panic change based on these results. You can like change some cards, change the tech card you were going to play, include a new tech card you weren't going to play, whatever it might be. Like that's all fine. You should feel comfortable doing that. But yeah, don't go not playing Charizard or not playing Dragapult or anything like that.
All right, well, let's just wrap it up then with some predictions. What we think we will see this weekend for all three events. You're going to be restreaming, yeah, Merida and Birmingham.
Yep, it's gonna be a couple long days in a row, but it lines up pretty well, which is nice as well with the stream times, or should line up reasonably well.
All right, first prediction here: pick a non-Gardevoir deck to win one of these three events. Or we did say, if you want to, you can say Gardevoir is just going to win all three of them. If you want to be boring and cringe.
Yeah, but that can't happen because one of them's in Europe. Garver doesn't win in Europe.
Rune one.
I often. I'm gonna go with Nor, and I'm gonna predict that it'll specifically win Birmingham. I'm
Whoa!
gonna say Nor's gonna win Birmingham.
What a turnaround. Well, so is it just going to be Alexander?
Yeah, or Alberto. Maybe they have another finals mirror or something like that. Maybe Henry's still in Europe and just wins this one or something like that.
Interesting. Polt wins Birmingham specifically.
Yeah, you don't have to lock in a specific one, but
No, don't
although
plan to.
I would predict that also Pult will not win either of the other two regionals.
Why? This is like, I don't know.
European players don't know
It's
how to
like
play
listening
against
to someone
Badu. I
who's
don't know.
constructing a sports bet, but they're like adding in extra legs to each step of the parlay. And it's like, but then this is going to happen and then this will happen.
I'm trying to go big or
And
go
then it's like, I'm
home.
going to turn my $5 into, 75,000. And well, that bet never hits, does it?
Yeah, Paul wins
I
Birmingham, but
think
does not win either of the other two regionals.
I think I'm gonna also say that Gardevoir won't win all three. I think just statistically, even though Gardevoir is obviously
Pretty good.
insane, I feel like statistically that is pretty unlikely. But what would the other deck be? I guess is the question. Um, you know what? I'm sure he's going. He didn't make it to Toronto, but he won a regionals already this year with it. And even though it's a deck I don't personally love, I'm going to give Mega Box a win
Ooh.
here.
You think Tord's going to
And
Birmingham?
it will, if Mega Box wins, it probably is toward maybe Ryuki.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I was actually gonna say, who was it? The Mega Box, who actually had like a pretty cool. Um,
Marcos Fuentes. We talked about his list.
Daichi played the Toad Scroll.
Yeah.
We talked about the Fuentes list. Julian played the Moltres Double Brave Bangle, which I thought that was pretty cool. Inclusions in the deck, just like people just trying to get creative as with ways to beat Golden Go, right? Everyone's trying to get creative.
That's how you beat Golden Go, is you just like attack with Moltres 3 times.
Yeah, honestly, my guess would be that none of these techs actually give you a favorite matchup in the Golden Go, but maybe.
Dude, what if you just played like 2 Moltres, 3 Brave Bengal, and you just one hit KO'd 3 Golden Go?
Sometimes they at some point, they might stop benching them and just punch it with a Soul Rock, though. I don't know. They might switch it up on you.
And then you get in there with a Evil Tall or something, you know? Or,
Yeah. No, you have options. You have options for
yeah,
sure. Okay,
maybe
the one thing
that's
I
the
don't
move.
understand about the deck, though, is, like, the Prism Energy. We're never finding that. You're not drawing it. Why do
Well, you gotta
like
draw something.
yeah, it's not Prism Energy. I guarantee you it's not Prism Energy, like,
I
100%.
promise you that at some point throughout the weekend, the Prism Energy was drawn.
Yeah, but not when you were attacking with Moltres for sure. There's no way. I don't
When it's
believe it.
relevant, right?
We can Mind Bend too, though, with it. Alright, I'm in. Let's do it. Wait,
True.
what about 2 Prism Energy? Can we get another one in the deck? We draw it twice as often.
Should it just would you be less annoyed by it if it was like 1 fire, 2 prism?
No, no, no. You definitely need the double basic fire for sure. No, I'm more so just kinda memeing. We draw something. You're right. We draw something every turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always tell Grant whenever he's like, "Dude, they drew da 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 da." I'm just like, "Dude,
Of course, they had to draw
they're
something.
gonna draw something, man. Like, they can't just pass like before they top deck. Like, uh, all right. Well, let's move on to our next prediction here. After its surprise success in Toronto, will someone pick it up? Perhaps someone who hears the Green Goblin mask calling them from across the room. Will there be more Raging Bolt enjoyers this weekend? What do you think across all 3 events? Highest placing Raging Bolts. And we're saying all 3 events. There's a chance we won't have all the data for Auckland because we don't know if it's
Immediately,
going to be
yeah.
tracked on RK9 or not. I don't think so.
No.
Um, so, but if we have the results, we'll count it, of course.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it'll lose an asymmetrical cut in Merida. Yeah,
So top
it'll
16.
lose. Yeah, top 16, or if there's no, I mean, yeah, it'll lose an asymmetrical cut in Merida.
Losing an ASIM. I mean, are you assuming it's going to be one of the people who played it in
Yeah,
Toronto?
probably. Yeah, it'll probably be Andreas or Yurko if they're going.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a top 32. I don't know that I fully believe enough in the deck. I mean, I seem to believe in it a little bit more than you did with the the matchups when we were talking about them, but um, yeah, I'll give it a top 32 at one of the tournaments. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah, you
Little shout out
definitely
to Emily Foreman as well, the fellow caster who made top 128 with Owlless Bolts.
with
So,
the rocks, right?
I don't know if she's playing in Birmingham or not. Yeah, with the Rocks. So that was kind of a cool list. Um, I don't know if she's playing in Birmingham or not, but if she's playing, hey, maybe she'll get in there with the top 32 with the Owlless Bolts. And then final prediction, Azul, pick a player at any of the 3 tournaments to make top cut.
Brent Tonneson.
Which of the 3 tournaments is he going to? He could show up at literally any of them.
I believe he's going to Merida. Yeah.
Brent Tonneson in Merida. Well, I guess I got to pick a different tournament. I don't have to, but I am going to pick Tord Reklev. Lock down on the Mega Box on the Absol Kangaskhan deck. Go with the GOAT. I mean, when you get a chance to pick the GOAT, it's like, how could you not, right?
What if he brings Charizard X again?
Oh, I did not consider that risk. That's honestly, if he can win with Mega Box, he can win with the Mega Charizard deck as well.
What? Dude, that's not even comparable. Honestly, maybe he's had too much time to cook, and he's gonna come up with something. I guess that could be a good and a bad thing, right? Because he might come with something. He might roll up with something goofy. Do you think he'll act? What if he plays the deck he tweeted, the 1-up deck?
He won't do that.
What if he does?
He won't. But he might play something like that Charizard
The
Urshifu deck.
Shifu
You
deck?
remember that he
Yeah.
played? I could see that. I could see something like that coming out from Tord. So maybe
He
I
made
am
him in,
throwing a little bit, but
he made cut though.
he
So
did
I
make
mean,
cut. That's
made
fair.
cut. Yeah, I was trying to think of like what would be like a crazy combination you could even do like that. That's like
Was that one a special event or was that a regionals that he made cut with that deck?
I don't remember. I mean, but Europe is like the same thing. I guess like if there's money on the line, maybe he would take it more seriously. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I don't remember if it's a special event or a.
Let's see if we can find it real quick since we were talking about it.
Sure it
Urshifu
is.
Charizard. That was a
It's a
special
special event.
event.
It was a special event. Okay.
All right,
Which is a little
Azul.
wild.
I think that's it for our episode this week. You got anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here to the bonus episode?
Send us out.
Well, thanks a bunch to everyone for listening to the longest ever episode
Is
of
this
the
it?
Uncommon Energy podcast. Yeah, someone's probably going to comment about how it's too long, and
I don't think anyone ever comments that. This is something
that is
you
not true.
worry
People
about.
literally do comment that.
How could it be ever too long? If we're talking about things about Pokemon, that's the point of the podcast and listening to the podcast. You
Yeah,
can't
well, it's
complain
just like
about
I
us
think
talking about
people like
more.
just get annoyed that they have to listen to it over multiple sittings.
Hmm,
It's a
maybe,
long
but there's
time to
more
commit,
info.
It is more
Yeah,
info.
I guess like there's like a certain limit of like bad takes from Chip that people want to like
Okay, buddy.
subject themselves to.
What did you think about Dragapult going into this past weekend again?
I think it was great,
Bad
but
play, right?
post analysis is definitely like a little bit better of a play. But you weren't beating the Gardevoir still, I don't think.
Maybe if they're only playing one Curly and no Evo like Giovanni was.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot closer then. Definitely gets a lot closer. But I'm sure Giovanni took down his fair share of.
Yeah.
Maybe not that. Maybe he dodged all the pults.
Now he played one in top four. So
And 1, 2. Yeah, he beat 4. He beat 4 of them. Took them out.
Well, thanks a bunch as always for listening. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave us a like, review, rating, comment, subscribe. And hey, you know what? If you have to break it up into multiple views, that counts as multiple views. So thinking ahead with the long episodes, right?
There we go. Got him.
And if you
It's
want to
actually
say,
funny, dude. I just like checked Giovanni's match history. Round 1, he tied Alakazam, and then
that's
from
so
there,
funny.
just wins and losses from there. That
Wait,
is
oh, I think there's a funny one too. Go look at Justin Templar's. I remember someone telling me this. Go look at Justin Templar's. Uh,
oh yeah, he lost a festival lead in
he
round 3.
lost a festival lead.
No, the lead. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, insane.
That's a good one. That is a good one for sure. That's a tough matchup. I mean, it's a tough matchup. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah.
Not a very good deck, but very tough matchup for Golden though.
If you want to stay up to date with myself and Azul, the best place to do it is over on X. You can follow myself at Chipperchi at AzulGG. And you can follow the podcast at uncommon_energy.
Yeah, appreciate the support as always, and we'll catch y'all. We'll be back to regularly scheduled programming
Most
next week.
likely.
We'll be back out Wednesday at 7 a.m. Eastern.